short ways to do it. I have a lot of ways to write it short, but not, yeah.
A lot, I mean, some might be, some might be, many of them I don't.
Right. Yeah, like I have short ways to write. It's actually the easiest of all three tests we have to pass is jury charge. Yeah, it's 200 words a minute, but it's like members of the jury is one, ladies and gentlemen of the jury board.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. This is docket 25, 1892 FC, people of the state of Michigan versus Enrico Brooks. Counsel, your appearance for the record.
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant Prosecuting Attorney Adam Pfeiffer on behalf of the people.
Good morning, Your Honor. Stephen A. Freeman, Public Defender, appearing on behalf of Mr. Brooks, who is also present at council table.
Thank you. And we also have the lead detective seated at prosecutor's table.
Yes, Your Honor. Detective Tara Brand.
And there were initially, I think, things we've talked about, but just so we're clear, there is a stipulation for witness sequestration, correct?
Absolutely, Your Honor.
And there is an agreement, and it's been included in the jury instructions, I believe, that jurors can take notes, correct?
Yes, and ask questions.
Yes. Thank you. That was gonna be my next thing, so yes, and you agree with all of that, counsel?
I do, Your Honor. Thank you.
And is there anything else we need to make a record of? Today we will go until 3 o'clock.
Yes, the only thing with the preliminary instructions I want to make a record of is for the crime involving the identity theft. Count 15. There is not a standard or even non-standard jury instruction for that crime. So that is one that I had to make up wholesale from the statute. I just wanted to make sure that there is a record that everyone is okay with the jury instruction that I ended up making here.
Tell you what, it comes up and now we should, if everybody's okay with it, we should just stick it in the book. You don't have to spend time doing it again.
Well, it covers a lot of the, there's ones for the other forms of identity theft that are captured in the statute, but not the one for possession / transfer to commit identity theft. That one just, there isn't one in the books.
Okay, so let me,
It's what I labeled as 30.0.
we don't have pages on it, so let me see, solid. What does that mean?
So keep counting.
1, 10, 15. Count 12, keep going.
Oh, I see.
13, yeah, keep going. 14,
Okay, so on behalf of, will you help counsel?
Yep,
find
that's
the
exactly what I'm
source?
saying.
We should probably put page numbers on these.
This is what you do.
We'll find it for you, counsel. We'll put page numbers on now.
To be fair, I am also guilty of that. I mean to do it in every trial for my proposed jury instructions, and I forget in every trial.
He's always a problem, gotta have page numbers. Just makes it go smoother.
Oh, again, agreed. That's why I always mean to.
Well, if that's the only clue we have, we're good.
Yep.
I'm satisfied with instruction 30.0, Your Honor.
Thank you, and I've had an opportunity to read the proposed jury instruction that people came up with, and it does mirror, and I'm comparing it with the felony information, and it does mirror the language in there, so I think it's also appropriate. Thank you for doing that. There's stipulations, show it will be read as written.
Thank you.
Anything else?
For my opening, I have a brief PowerPoint that is just quite literally a breakdown of the charges along with the specific dates. So I'm planning on using that. Apart from that, there's nothing else that comes to mind.
Okay.
For purposes of economy, I anticipate an opening in 5 minutes.
Okay, so I'm going to see how long it takes to read this. That usually takes me about 30 minutes, somewhere between 25 and 35 minutes. This might take me 45 because of the length.
I figured about 45.
And then how long, on behalf of the defendant, as he's just said, it's not gonna be a long opening. I wouldn't anticipate that it would be long at this point. Probably have a longer closing, but in terms of your opening, how much time do you think? Because what I'm trying to figure out is a break.
I know, 15 minutes, maybe
Okay.
20, if only, the majority of the time is going to be breaking down, so
Okay.
they understand going in.
So what we might do then, depending how long it takes you to do this, it sounds like we probably can get through both of your openings, then take a break before we call our first witness.
That sounds great.
And then we have lunch coming, so we'll just, it's Jimmy John's, it's quick.
Yep.
And so we'll just take like half an hour break and then get back to it for purposes of your witness planning. And then I need to be hard stop at 3.
Sounds good.
All right,
I'm
anything
getting
else?
Could I get some Kleenex over here?
Some what?
Kleenex tissues? We're ready, as long as I can retrieve the exhibits I gave the defense. No.
I'm sorry.
Could you hand me the exhibits?
Oh, yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, already.
It's just allergy season, so I'm here prepared.
Do you need some cough drops in this before we start, so you have that table?
I got those.
Okay, we need to get some water for everybody.
Yep.
All right, thank you. Jurors, please. It's better than TV. A little slower pace, but
That's okay. It needs to be slower so I can follow up.
All right.
thank you. Good morning. You may be seated. There is an instruction I'll get to. It's probably several pages in, but it does talk about note taking. I'm just going to preface it now. You certainly can take notes. The issue will be that your note taking should not interfere with your ability to listen to the jury instructions. You will each have your own copy of the jury instructions after I've read them to refer to during the trial. Okay, so you can take notes, you also need to listen because it's important to understand what's happening. And then you can refer to them as often as you wish. So certainly you can take notes, but as I said, you're not losing anything because there's no copies. Members of the jury, you have been chosen to decide criminal charges made by the state of Michigan against one of your fellow citizens. In a moment, I will ask you to stand and swear to perform your duty to try the case justly and reach a true verdict. If your religious beliefs do not permit you to take an oath, you may instead affirm to try the case justly and reach a true verdict. Please stand and raise your right hand. Do each of you solemnly swear or affirm that in this action now pending before the court, you will justly decide the questions submitted to you? That unless you're discharged by the court for further deliberation, you will render a true verdict, and you will render your verdict only on the evidence introduced and in accordance with the instructions of the court. So help you God. Thank you. You may be seated. As I just said, you'll have a written copy of the instructions I'm reading to you. You may refer to them during the trial. Since no one can predict the course of a trial, these instructions may change at the end of the trial. At the close of the trial, I will provide you with a copy of my final instructions for your use during deliberations. I will now explain some of the legal principles you will need to know and the procedure we will follow in this trial. A trial follows this procedure. First, the prosecutor makes an opening statement where he gives his theories about the case. Defendant's lawyer does not have to make an opening statement, but he may make an opening statement after the prosecutor makes his, or he may wait until later. These statements are not evidence. They are only meant to help you understand how each side views the case. Next, the prosecutor presents his evidence. The prosecutor may call witnesses to testify and may show you exhibits like documents or objects. Defendant's lawyer has the right to cross-examine the prosecutor's witnesses. After the prosecutor has presented all his evidence, defendant's attorney may also offer evidence, but does not have to. By law, defendant does not have to prove his innocence or produce any evidence. If the defense does call any witnesses, the prosecutor has the right to cross-examine them. The prosecutor may also call witnesses to contradict the testimony of the defense witnesses. After all the evidence has been presented, the prosecutor and defendant's lawyer will make their closing arguments. Like the opening statements, these are not evidence. They are only meant to help you understand the evidence and the way each side sees the case. You must base your verdict only on the evidence that was admitted. My responsibilities as the judge in this trial is to make sure that the trial is run fairly and efficiently, to make decisions about evidence, and to instruct you about the law that applies to this case. You must take the law as I give it to you. Nothing I say is meant to reflect my own opinions about this case. As jurors, you are the ones who will decide this case. Your responsibility as jurors is to decide what the facts of this case are. This is your job, no one else's. You must think about all the evidence and all the testimony and then decide what each piece of evidence means and how important you think it is. This includes how much you believe what each of the witnesses said. What you decide about any fact in this case is final. A person accused of a crime is presumed to be innocent. This means that you must start with the presumption that defendant is innocent. This presumption continues throughout the trial and entitles defendant to a verdict of not guilty unless you're satisfied beyond a reasonable doubt that he is guilty. Every crime is made up of parts called elements. The prosecutor must prove each element of the crime beyond a reasonable doubt. Defendant is not required to prove his innocence or to do anything. If you find that the prosecutor has not proven every element beyond a reasonable doubt, then you must find defendant not guilty. A reasonable doubt is a fair, honest doubt growing out of the evidence or a lack of evidence. It is not merely an imaginary or possible doubt, but a doubt based on reason and common sense. A reasonable doubt is just that. A doubt that is reasonable after a careful and considered examination of the facts and circumstances of this case. Defendant is charged in count 1 with the crime of torture on or about May 25th, 2020. To prove this charge, the prosecutor must prove each of the following elements beyond a reasonable doubt. First, that defendant had custody or physical control over Alyssa Clark. This means that defendant used force or the threat of force either to confine Alyssa Clark by interfering with her liberty or to restrict Alyssa Clark's freedom of movement. Second, that defendant exercised custody or physical control over Alyssa Clark without her consent or without lawful authority to do so. Third, that at the time that defendant had custody or physical control over Alyssa Clark, he intentionally caused great bodily injury or severe mental pain or suffering to Alyssa Clark. Great bodily injury means causing a serious impairment of a body function, which includes any of the following: loss or substantial impairment of a bodily function, serious visible disfigurement, a skull or other serious bone fracture, or means internal injury, poisoning, serious burns or scalding, severe cuts or multiple puncture wounds. Severe mental pain or suffering means a substantial change in mental functioning that can be perceived by another person. It must have been caused by defendant in one or more of the following ways: intentionally causing great bodily injury to Alyssa Clark or threatening to cause great bodily harm to her. Threatening Alyssa Clark with imminent death or threatening that another person will immediately be killed, subjected to great bodily injury, or given a mind-altering substance meant to disrupt the senses or personality. Fourth, that defendant intended to cause Alyssa Clark to suffer cruel and extreme physical pain or mental pain and suffering. The prosecutor does not need to prove that Alyssa Clark actually suffered any pain. Defendant is charged in count 2 with the crime of assault by strangulation or suffocation on or about May 25th, 2020. To prove this charge, prosecutor must prove each of the following elements beyond a reasonable doubt. First, that defendant committed a battery upon Alyssa Clark. A battery is a forceful, violent, or offensive touching of another person or something closely connected with that other person. Second, that the touching must have been intended by defendant, that is, not accidental, and it must have been against Alyssa Clark's will. It does not matter whether the touching caused an injury. Third, that the battery was committed by strangulation or suffocation. Strangulation or suffocation means intentionally impeding normal circulation of the blood or breathing by applying pressure on the throat or neck or by blocking the nose or mouth. As used in these instructions, the words force and violence mean any use of physical force against another person so as to harm or embarrass her. For a battery to occur, the touching must have been intended by defendant, that is, not accidental, and it must have been against Alyssa Clark's will. It does not matter whether the touching caused an injury. An assault does not have to cause an actual injury. However, if there was an injury, you may consider the injury with the other evidence in determining whether there was an assault. Defendant is charged in count 3 with the crime of assault by strangulation or suffocation on or about or during the year 2020. To prove this charge, the prosecutor must prove each of the following elements beyond a reasonable doubt. First, the defendant committed a battery on Alyssa Clark. A battery is a forceful, violent, or offensive touching of another person or something closely connected with that other person. Second, that the touching must have been intended by defendant, that is, not accidental, and it must have been against Alyssa Clark's will. It does not matter whether the touching caused an injury. Third, that the battery was committed by strangulation or suffocation. Strangulation or suffocation means intentionally impeding normal circulation of the blood or breathing by applying pressure on the throat or neck or by blocking the nose or mouth. Defendant is charged in count 4 with the crime of assault by strangulation or suffocation on or about June 2020. To prove this charge, prosecutor must prove each of the following elements beyond a reasonable doubt. First, that defendant committed a battery on Alyssa Clark. A battery is a forceful, violent, or offensive touching of another person or something closely connected with that other person. Second, that the touching must have been intended by defendant, that is, not accidental, and it must have been against Alyssa Clark's will. It does not matter whether the touching caused an injury. Third, that the battery was committed by strangulation or suffocation. Strangulation or suffocation means intentionally impeding normal circulation of the blood or breathing by applying pressure on the throat or neck or by blocking the nose or mouth. Defendant is charged in count 5 with the crime of assault with intent to do great bodily harm less than murder on or about the month of May 2020. To prove this charge, the prosecutor must prove each of the following elements beyond a reasonable doubt. First, that defendant tried to physically injure another person. Second, that at the time of the assault, defendant had the ability to cause an injury or at least believed that he had the ability. Third, that defendant intended to cause great bodily harm. An actual injury is not necessary, but if there was an injury, you may consider it as evidence in deciding whether defendant intended to cause great bodily harm. Great bodily harm means any physical injury that could seriously harm the health or function of the body. Defendant is charged in count 6 with domestic assault on or about May 25th, 2020. To prove this charge, the prosecutor must prove each of the following elements beyond a reasonable doubt. First, that defendant assaulted or assaulted and battered Alyssa Clark. A battery is a forceful, violent, or offensive touching of a person or something closely connected with him or her. The touching must have been intended by defendant, that is, not accidental, and it must have been against Alyssa Clark's will. An assault is an attempt to commit a battery or an act that would cause a reasonable person to fear or apprehend an immediate battery. The defendant must have intended either to commit a battery or to make Alyssa Clark reasonably fear an immediate battery. At the time of an assault, the defendant must have had the ability to commit a battery or must have appeared to have the ability or must have thought that he had the ability. Second, at the time Alyssa Clark was a person with whom defendant had or previously had a dating relationship. A dating relationship means frequent, intimate association, primarily characterized by the expectation of affectional involvement. It does not include a casual relationship or an ordinary fraternization between two individuals in a business or social context. Defendant is charged in count 7 with home invasion in the first degree on or about May 25th, 2020. To prove this charge, prosecutor must prove each of the following elements beyond a reasonable doubt. First, that defendant broke into a dwelling. It does not matter whether anything was actually broken, however, some force must have been used. Opening a door, raising a window, and taking off a screen are all examples of enough force to count as a break-in. Entering a dwelling through an already open door or window without using any force does not count as a break-in. Second, that defendant entered the dwelling. It does not matter whether defendant got his entire body inside. If defendant put any part of his body into the dwelling after the breaking, that is enough to count as an entry. Third, that when defendant entered, was present in, or was leaving the dwelling, he committed an assault. Fourth, that when defendant entered, was present in, or was leaving the dwelling, another person was lawfully present in the dwelling. In the alternative, you may consider the theory of home invasion in the first degree, entering without permission. To prove this charge, the prosecutor must prove each of the following elements beyond a reasonable doubt. First, that defendant entered a dwelling without permission. It does not matter whether the defendant got his entire body inside. If defendant put any part of his body into the dwelling without permission, that is enough to count as an entry. Second, when defendant entered, was present in, or was leaving the dwelling, he committed an assault. Third, that when defendant entered, was present in, or was leaving the dwelling, another person was lawfully present in the dwelling. Defendant is charged in count 8 with preventing or attempting to prevent a person from reporting a crime committed by another person on or about May 25th, 2020. To prove this charge, the prosecutor must prove each of the following elements beyond a reasonable doubt. First, that defendant prevented or attempted to prevent Alyssa Clark from reporting that defendant had assaulted her. Second, that defendant used physical force against Alyssa Clark when preventing or attempting to prevent her from reporting that assault. Third, that defendant's use of force involved committing or attempting to commit the crime of interfering with electronic communications, as I will later describe to you. Defendant is charged in count 9 with the crime of assault with a dangerous weapon on or about May 25th, 2020. To prove this charge, prosecutor must prove each of the following elements beyond a reasonable doubt. First, that defendant either attempted to commit a battery on Alyssa Clark or did an act that would cause a reasonable person to fear or apprehend an immediate battery. A battery is a forceful or violent touching of the person or something closely connected with the person. Second, that defendant intended either to injure Alyssa Clark or to make Alyssa Clark reasonably fear an immediate battery. Third, that at the time defendant had the ability to commit a battery, appeared to have the ability, or thought he had the ability. Fourth, that defendant committed the assault with a dangerous weapon. A dangerous weapon is any object that is used in a way that is likely to cause serious physical injury or death. Some objects, such as guns or bombs, are dangerous because they are specifically designed to be dangerous. Other objects are designed for peaceful purposes, but may be used as a dangerous weapon. The way an object is used or intended to be used in an assault determines whether or not it is a dangerous weapon. If defendant threatened to use an object or uses an object in a way that was likely to cause serious physical injury or death, it was a dangerous weapon. You must decide from all the facts and circumstances whether the prosecutor has proven that the firearm in question here was a dangerous weapon. Defendant is also charged in count 10 with the separate crime of possessing a firearm at the time he committed or attempted to commit the crime of assault with a dangerous weapon. To prove this charge, the prosecutor must prove each of the following elements beyond a reasonable doubt. First, that defendant committed or attempted to commit the crime of assault with a dangerous weapon, which has been defined for you. It is not necessary, however, that defendant be convicted of that crime. Second, that at the time defendant committed or attempted to commit the crime, he knowingly carried or possessed a firearm. Defendant is charged in count 11 with the crime of interfering with an electronic communication on or about May 25th, 2020. To prove this charge, the prosecutor must prove each of the following elements beyond a reasonable doubt. First, that defendant prevented, obstructed, or delayed by any means the sending of an authorized communication through a telephone line or any electronic medium of communication. It does not matter whether the communication was actually sent or received. Second, that defendant did this willfully and maliciously. This means that defendant did the act on purpose and with the intent to prevent, obstruct, or delay the communication. Defendant is charged in count 12 with stalking. To establish this charge, the prosecutor must prove each of the following elements beyond a reasonable doubt. First, that defendant committed 2 or more willful, separate, and non-continuous acts of uncontested contact with Alyssa Clark. Unconsented contact, sorry, let me read that again. First, that defendant committed 2 or more willful, separate, and non-continuous acts of unconsented contact with Alyssa Clark. Unconsented contact means that defendant initiated or continued contact with Alyssa Clark without her consent and includes following or appearing within the sight of Alyssa Clark, approaching Alyssa Clark in public or on private property, appearing at Alyssa Clark's workplace or home, entering or remaining on property owned, leased, or occupied by Alyssa Clark, contacting Alyssa Clark by telephone, sending an electronic communication or mail to Alyssa Clark, or placing an object on or delivering an object to property owned, leased, or occupied by Alyssa Clark. Second, that the contact would cause a reasonable individual to suffer emotional distress. Third, that the contact caused Alyssa Clark to suffer emotional distress. Fourth, that the contact would cause a reasonable individual to feel terrorized, frightened, intimidated, threatened, harassed, or molested. Fifth, that the contact caused Alyssa Clark to feel terrorized, frightened, intimidated, threatened, harassed, or molested. Sixth, at least one act of uncontested, I'm sorry, I keep saying that, but it's unconsented. Sixth, that at least one act of unconsented contact either was committed in violation of a court order or included defendant making one or more credible threats against Alyssa Clark, a member of her family, or someone living in her household. A credible threat is a threat to kill or physically injure a person made in a manner or context that causes the person hearing or receiving it to reasonably fear for his or her safety or the safety of another person. Defendant is charged in count 13 with the crime of first-degree criminal sexual conduct. To prove this charge, the prosecutor must prove each of the following elements beyond a reasonable doubt. First, that defendant engaged in a sexual act that involved entry into Alyssa Clark's anal opening by a dildo. Any entry, no matter how slight, is enough. It does not matter whether the sexual act was completed or whether semen was ejaculated. Second, that defendant caused personal injury to Alyssa Clark. Personal injury means bodily injury, disfigurement, chronic pain, pregnancy, disease, loss, or impairment of a sexual or reproductive organ, or mental anguish. Mental anguish means extreme pain, extreme distress, or extreme suffering, either at the time of the event or later as a result of it. Here are some of the things you may think about in deciding whether Alyssa Clark suffered mental anguish. Was Alyssa Clark upset, crying, or hysterical during or after the event? Did she need psychological treatment? Did the incident interfere with Alyssa Clark's ability to work or lead a normal life? Was Alyssa Clark afraid that she or someone else would be hurt or killed? Did she feel angry or humiliated? Did she need medication for anxiety, insomnia, or other symptoms? Did the emotional effects of the incident last a long time? Did Alyssa Clark feel scared afterward about the possibility of being attacked again? These are not the only things you should think about. No single factor is necessary. You must think about all the facts and circumstances to decide whether Alyssa Clark suffered mental anguish. Third, the prosecutor must prove that Alyssa Clark was mentally incapacitated or physically helpless at the time of the alleged act. Mentally incapacitated means that Alyssa Clark was unable to understand or control what she was doing because of drugs or alcohol given to her without her consent. Physically helpless means that Alyssa Clark was unconscious, asleep, or physically unable to communicate that she did not want to take part in the alleged act. Fourth, that defendant knew or should have known that Alyssa Clark was mentally incapacitated or physically helpless at the time of the alleged act. To prove the charges of criminal sexual conduct, for count 13, it is not necessary that there be evidence other than the testimony of Alyssa Clark if that testimony proves guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. To prove the charges of criminal sexual conduct for count 13, the prosecutor does not have to show that Alyssa Clark resisted defendant. Defendant is also charged in count 14 with the separate crime of using a computer to commit or attempt to commit the crime of obtaining, possessing, or transferring personal identifying information with the intent to commit identity theft. To prove this charge, the prosecutor must prove both of the following elements beyond a reasonable doubt. First, that defendant committed
I believe that should be committed or attempted to commit.
Thank you. Maybe some language is missing. Okay. First, that defendant committed or attempted to commit the crime of obtaining, possessing, or transferring personal identifying information with the intent to commit identity theft, which will be defined for you. It is not necessary, however, that anyone be convicted of that crime. Second, that defendant intentionally used a computer to commit that crime. Computer means any connected directly interoperable or interactive device, equipment, or facility that uses a computer program or other instructions to perform specific operations, including logical, arithmetic, not a word we use often, or memory functions with or on computer data or a computer program that can store, retrieve, alter, or communicate the results of the operations to a person, computer program, computer system, or computer network. Computer includes a computer game device or a cellular telephone, personal digital assistant, PDA, or other handheld device. Defendant is also charged in count 15 with a separate crime of obtaining, possessing, or transferring personal identifying information with the intent to commit identity theft on or about September 2023. To prove this charge, prosecutor must prove both of the following elements beyond a reasonable doubt. First, that defendant did sell or transfer or attempt to sell or transfer personal identifying information of another person. Second, that defendant knew or had reason to know that the specific intended recipient will use, attempt to use, or further transfer the information to another person for the purpose of committing identity theft or another crime. Defendant is charged in count 16 with the offense of unlawful dissemination of sexually explicit visual material of another person on or about September 2023. In order to convict defendant of the crime, prosecution must prove each of the following elements beyond a reasonable doubt. First, defendant disseminated sexually explicit visual material of another person. Second, the other person was not less than 18 years of age. Third, the other person was identifiable from the sexually explicit visual material itself or information displayed in connection with the sexually explicit visual material. Fourth, defendant obtained the sexually explicit visual material of the other person under circumstances wherein a reasonable person would have known or understood that the sexually explicit visual material was to remain private. Fifth, defendant knew or reasonably should have known that the other person did not consent to the dissemination of sexually explicit visual material. Sixth, defendant disseminated the sexually explicit visual material intentionally. And seventh, defendant disseminated sexually explicit visual material with the intent to threaten, coerce, or intimidate the other person. When I use the term disseminate, I mean posting, distributing, or publishing on a computer device, the computer network, website, or other electronic device or medium of communication. When I use the term sexually explicit visual material, I mean a photograph or video that depicts nudity, erotic fondling, sexual intercourse, or sadomasochistic abuse. When I use the term nudity, I mean displaying a person's genitalia or anus, or if the person is female, her nipples or areola. Defendant is charged in count 17 with the crime of knowingly receiving, possessing, concealing, or aiding in the concealment of stolen property on or about November 19th, 2024. To prove this charge, the prosecutor must prove each of the following elements beyond a reasonable doubt. First, that some property was stolen. Second, that defendant received, possessed, concealed, or aided in the concealment of that property. Third, that defendant knew or had reason to know or reason to believe that the property was stolen when he received it, possessed, concealed, or aided in the concealment of it. Fourth, that the property was a firearm. To buy means to purchase property either with money or in exchange for something else of value. To receive means to accept possession of property. To possess means to knowingly have or hold property under your control. To conceal means to intentionally hide, disguise, get rid of, or do any other act to keep the property from being discovered. Defendant is also charged in count 18 with a separate crime of possessing a firearm at the time he committed or attempted to commit the crime of receiving and concealing stolen property. To prove this charge, the prosecutor must prove each of the following elements beyond a reasonable doubt. First, that defendant committed or attempted to commit the crime of receiving and concealing stolen property, which has been defined for you. It is not necessary, however, that defendant be convicted of that crime. Second, that at the time defendant committed or attempted to commit that crime, he knowingly carried or possessed a firearm. It does not matter whether or not the firearm was capable of firing a projectile or whether it was loaded. A pistol is a firearm. The prosecutor must prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the crimes occurred within Ingham County. The prosecutor must also prove that the following crimes occurred on or around May 25th, 2020. Count 1, torture. Count 2, assault with intent to do great bodily harm less than murder or by strangulation. Count 7, home invasion, first degree. Count 6, domestic violence. Count 8, interfering with crime report, committing crime, threatening to kill or injure. Count 9, assault with a dangerous weapon. Count 10, felony firearm. Count 11, interfering with electronic communications. The prosecutor must also prove that the following crimes occurred on or around the month of May 2020. Count 5, assault with intent to do great bodily harm less than murder or by strangulation. The prosecutor must also prove that the following crimes occurred on or around January 1st, 2020 through December 31st, 2020. Count 3, assault with intent to do great bodily harm less than murder or by strangulation. The prosecutor must also prove that the following crimes occurred on or around June 20th. Count 4, assault with intent to do great bodily harm less than murder or by strangulation. The prosecutor must also prove that the following crimes occurred on or around September 2023. Count 14, computers using to commit a crime. Count 15, personal identifying information obtained, possessed, transfer with intent to commit identity theft. Count 16, intentional dissemination of sexually explicit visual materials. The prosecutor also must prove that the following crimes occurred on or around November 16, 2018 through January 1st, 2024. Count 12, aggravated stalking. The prosecutor must also prove that the following crimes occurred on or around November 19th, 2024. Count 17, firearms receiving and concealing. Count 18, felony firearm. Time, however, is not an element of the crime of criminal sexual conduct. The prosecutor does not have to prove the date or time of those offenses beyond a reasonable doubt. These include count 13, criminal sexual conduct, first degree. Part of your job in deciding what the facts of this case are is to decide which witnesses you believe and how important you think their testimony is. You do not have to accept or reject everything a witness says. You are free to believe all, none, or part of any person's testimony. In deciding which testimony you believe, you should rely on your own common sense and everyday experience. However, in deciding whether you believe a person's testimony, you must set aside any bias or prejudice you may have based on the witness's race, national origin or ethnicity, gender, gender identity, or sexual orientation, or religion, age, or socioeconomic status. There are no fixed set rules for judging whether you believe a witness, but it may help you to think about some of these questions. Was the witness able to see or hear clearly? How long was the witness watching or listening? Was anything else going on that might have distracted the witness? Does the witness seem to have a good memory? How does the witness look and act while testifying? Does the witness seem to be making an honest effort to tell the truth, or does the witness seem to evade the questions or argue with the lawyers? Does the witness's age or maturity affect how you judge his or her testimony? Does the witness have any bias or prejudice or any personal interest in how this case is decided? Have there been any promises, threats, suggestions, or other influences that affect how the witness testifies? In general, does the witness have any special reason to tell the truth or any special reason to lie? All in all, how reasonable does the witness's testimony seem when you think about all the other evidence in the case? When it's time for you to decide the case, you're only allowed to consider the evidence that was admitted in the case. Evidence includes only the sworn testimony of witnesses, the exhibits admitted into evidence, and anything else I tell you to consider as evidence. If counsel asks me to strike something, then you would not consider that if I strike it. The questions the lawyers ask the witnesses are not evidence. Only the answers are evidence. You should not think that something is true just because one of the lawyers asks questions that assume or suggest that it is. I may ask the witnesses questions myself. These questions are not meant to reflect my opinion about the evidence. If I ask questions, my only reason would be to ask about things that may not have been fully explored. During the trial, you may think of an important question that would help you understand the facts in this case. you are allowed to ask such questions. You should wait to ask questions until after a witness has finished testifying and both sides have finished their questioning. If you still have an important question after this, do not ask it yourself. Raise your hand, write the question down. If your cursive is sloppy, we can't read it, please print. We don't like to guess at what your question is, so try to make it legible. Then pass it to the law clerk, who will give it to me, and do not show your question to other jurors. Similarly, your note taking, you cannot look at each other's notes. You can only share them at the time you are deliberating. If your question is not asked, it's because I determined under the law that the question should not be asked. Do not speculate about why the question was not asked. In other words, you should draw no conclusions or inferences about the facts of this case, nor should you speculate about what the answer might have been. Also, in considering the evidence, you should not give greater weight to testimony merely because it was given in answer to questions submitted by members of the jury. After each witness, if I forget, somebody will remind me, and feel free to remind me once in a while, because it's not in every trial that this is done, so as well, I do forget. But what will happen is, and you can write multiple questions on the paper that you have, and if you run out of paper, there should be more in the jury room, or let Brian know. But the questions will be given to me, I will read them, I will share them with counsel, and sometimes we'll just go into the conference room outside the courtroom because you're not allowed to hear our discussion. And sometimes we know what you're asking, but we have to change the format to comport with the court rules we operate under. Sometimes we can't ask because of the court rules, and I make that decision, not counsel. And sometimes we will ask part of it, not all of it. So we do what we can to ask what you want to know, but there are limitations. And then when we come back, we'll ask those questions. If there's any follow-up that you have, I allow that. And then counsel will also be allowed to follow up as well. I think I mentioned this on Friday, but it bears mentioning again. You can only ask questions as the witness is here. If you think of questions later, it's too late. So please do your best as you are listening to the testimony to write down the questions, because asking them the next day or later, we can't answer. If you cannot hear something that is said or presented, or if you cannot see a witness or evidence, please raise your hand immediately and we will correct whatever the issue is. During the trial, the lawyers may object to certain questions or statements made by the other lawyers or witnesses. I will rule on these objections according to the law. My rulings for or against one side or the other are not meant to reflect my opinions about the facts of this case. If I grant an objection, again, you're not allowed to consider whatever that pertains to. Sometimes the lawyers and I will have discussions outside of your hearing, also while you're in the jury room. I may have to take care of other matters that have nothing to do with this case. Pay no attention to these interruptions. They do happen. We try to keep them to a minimum. From time to time, you'll also hear that counsel has stipulated. A stipulation is an agreement. You must not discuss the case with anyone, including your family or friends. You must not even discuss it with the other jurors until the time comes for you to decide the case, and I give you those specific instructions. When it's time for you to decide the case, I will send you to the jury room for that purpose. Then you should discuss the case amongst yourselves, but only in the jury room and only when all jurors are present. You must not talk to defendant, the lawyers, the witnesses, or anyone who may be connected with this case. This means that you may not speak to these individuals, even if it has nothing at all to do with this case. You should be very cautious about speaking to people because you may inadvertently speak to someone connected to this case. This restriction is necessary to avoid the appearance of any improper conduct on any person's part. If anyone tries to discuss the case with you or in your presence, tell them to stop. Explain that you're a juror and you are not allowed to discuss the case. If they continue, leave. Report the incident to court staff as soon as you return to court. When the trial is over, these restrictions no longer apply, and you may, if you wish, discuss the case with anyone. During the trial, do not read, listen to, or watch any news reports about the case. Under the law, the evidence you consider to decide the case must meet certain standards. For example, witnesses must swear to tell the truth, and the lawyers must be able to cross-examine them. Because news reports do not have to meet these standards. They could give you incorrect or misleading information that might unfairly favor one side or the other. So to be fair to both sides, you must follow this instruction. The restrictions I'm describing next are meant to ensure that the parties get a fair trial. In our judicial system, it is crucial that jurors are not influenced by anything or anyone outside the courtroom. Under the law, the evidence you consider must meet certain standards. For example, witnesses must swear to tell the truth and the lawyers must be able to cross-examine them. Because information obtained outside the courtroom does not have these safeguards. It could give you incorrect or misleading information that might unfairly favor one side or the other. These restrictions continue until I discharge you from jury service. It is your duty as jurors to decide this case based solely on the evidence you see and hear in this courtroom. You must not consider information that comes from anywhere else. This means that until you deliver your verdict, you must not read, watch, listen to, or receive any information, including opinions or commentary about the case, whether in newspapers, on television, radio, the internet, or social media platforms. You must also not research any aspect of the case during the trial. This means research using a cellular phone, computer, or other electronic device to search the internet, as well as research with traditional sources like dictionaries, reference manuals, newspapers or magazines, ChatGPT, AI, any other communication source that could give you information. You must not investigate the case on your own or conduct any experiments concerning the case involving investigation or experiments using the internet, cellular phones, computers, or other electronic devices. You must not visit the scene of any event at issue in this trial. If it would become necessary for you to visit or view the scene, court staff will take you there as a group under court supervision. You must not consider as evidence any personal knowledge you may have of the scene. You must not share any information about the case by any means, including cellular phones or social media. This means that even if you're not discussing the case with someone else, you may not post any information about the case on social media websites or in any other manner. And I've told you to be careful about making new friends. Just please don't during this week. Refrain from making new friends, and certainly refrain from talking about this on any social media platform, even if you think it's private. If you discover that a juror has violated my instructions, report it to court staff immediately. You may take notes during the trial, but you don't have to. If you do take notes, you should be careful that it does not distract you from paying attention to all the evidence. When you go to the jury room to decide your verdict, you may use your notes to help you remember what happened in the courtroom. If you do take notes, do not let anyone except the other jurors see them, and that's only during deliberations. Your notes will not be examined by anyone, and when your jury service concludes, your notes will be collected and destroyed. What we do is we flip over the notepad, anything that looks like it has writing on it, it's ripped off and put through the shredder. I've had jurors who want to watch it go through the shredder, and that's fine. Brian will entertain you with that if you wish. You can see that we have chosen a jury of 14. After you've heard all the evidence and my final instructions, we will draw lots to see which two of you will be which will be dismissed to form a jury of 12. Now, I do it a little bit different than, if those of you have served, I do it a little bit different than other judges. I dismiss you from deliberation, but not in this case. And the reason is, I don't know how long deliberations is going to happen. I don't know, I don't have a crystal ball. Hopefully there's no emergency, none of you get sick, any of that. But we have had cases where we've lost a juror during deliberations. So in order for us not to do this again, which costs a lot of money and it's just a problem all the way around, it takes a lot of time. What I do is I put the two of you, simply I notice that your duties continue until Brian calls you and tells you that you are discharged. And of course, then if you want to know the result, the rest of the story, so to speak, he will tell you what the verdict is, because at that point it's public. He may also call you and say that you are now required to come back, and then jury deliberations would start fresh. Possible penalties should not influence your decision. If you find defendant guilty, it is the duty of the judge to fix the penalties. within the limits provided by law. I may give you more instructions during the trial. After all the evidence has been presented, you will hear the lawyer's closing arguments. Following the closing arguments, I will give you additional instructions about the rules of law that apply to this case. You should consider all of my instructions as a connected series. Taken all together, they are the law you must follow. After my final instructions, you will go to the jury room to decide on your verdict. A verdict in a criminal case must be unanimous. That means that every juror must agree on it, and it must reflect the individual decision of each juror. It is important for you to keep an open mind and not make a decision about anything in the case until you go to the jury room to decide the case. You must not let bias, prejudice, or public opinion influence your decision. Each of us may have biases or perceptions about other people based on stereotypes. We may be aware of some of our biases, though we do not express them. We may not be fully aware of some of our other biases. Take the time you need to test what might be automatic or instinctive judgments and to reflect carefully about the evidence. I caution you again to avoid reaching conclusions that may have been unintentionally influenced by stereotypes. You must reach your own conclusions about this case individually, but you should do so only after listening to and considering the opinions of the other jurors, who may have different backgrounds and perspectives from yours. Council, would you please approach?
Sorry.
On behalf of the people, are you satisfied with the reading of this set of instructions?
People are satisfied, Your
On
Honor.
behalf of the defendant, are you satisfied with the reading of this set of instructions?
The defense is satisfied, Your Honor. Thank you.
Very much. The minor changes will be provided to all of you, and then after, well, during our first break, we will then provide the instructions to the jury. On behalf of the people, at this time, you are ready for opening statement.
Yes, Your Honor.
You may proceed.
Honors, Mr. HDMI.
While he's setting up, you have screens in front of you. Are they all on and working?
I'll say search.
Okay, like that. As
Yes.
long as they're working, we're good. Okay, if they ever turn off once in a while, there's glitches, but it's pretty new, and I had to have some replaced, so they should all be working, but you never know, so please let me know. Okay, thank you.
Working. Yeah.
I think I jinxed it.
You might have.
That's why I told you use the.
This is searching again now.
There we go. Morning. This is a case about violence, fear, and degradation. But more than anything, it is about power and control. This is going to be a difficult trial to sit through, not only because of the number of charges, because of the nature of that man's criminality. It's the details of what he did to Alyssa Clark. Rodrigo Brooks and Alyssa Clark were together starting 2017, 2018, but it's really not bad starting in 2018. really kicked into high gear once Alyssa became pregnant with their child. That's when a relationship that was abusive became horrendous and violent. You're going to hear Alyssa tell you about how he would hurt her, how he would threaten her, how he would make her terrified just to exist. You're going to hear her say that she'll go back to him, whether out of fear or love. She would. And it didn't get better. It got worse. The worst of the violence occurred over the course of 2020. He would frequently strangle her, make her feel like she was going to die. He would beat her black and blue. He would, at one point, try and slice her wrists while telling her, "You're going to die. I'm going to kill you." When she tried and leave this relationship, there's times that she was strong enough to. He would not let her, telling her things like, "The only way out of this is death. The only way out is in a body bag." That man had Alyssa right where he wanted her, which was under his thumb. He wanted power over her, wanted her under his control. She did not get to be her own person. She did not get to be free to make her own choices. She was his. He owned her. That's one of the things he actually sent to her. "I own you." He's charged with 18 different crimes in this case, spanning a variety of dates. And some of which, as you heard, are simply within date ranges. The month of May, the month of June, throughout 2020. Because after so much violence and abuse, so constant, it's hard to remember which one happened when. It's by design. That's the very nature of domestic violence and domestic abuse. Now, when Alyssa testifies, I fully expect it's going to be hard for her to remember specific dates and hard for her to remember an order of all this abuse and suffering that she went through. But this is the general timeline here, with the specific incidents that are charged here happening in May of 2020, May 25th of 2020, June of 2020, sometime throughout the year of 2020, then September of 2023, and finally, November 19th of 2024. So first, and I will say, I wish that under the law, we were able to structure an information, the order of charges based on chronology, from earliest to latest. The law does not allow for that, which is why these are not in what I would call a coherent order, but in your jury instructions, each one will be specifically listed with the date or the date range on them. So that way there is no confusion about which one is which. So first, in May of 2020, we have count 5, assault with intent to do great bodily harm less than murder. In this one, he threw her to the ground and punched her in the ribs over and over until they broke and were pressing up against her skin. Then, May 25th, 2020, one of the most serious incidents that you're going to hear about during this trial. We have count 1, torture. Count 2, assault by strangulation. Count 7, home invasion of the first degree. Count 8, interfering with a crime report, committing a crime threatening to kill or injure. Count 9, assault with a dangerous weapon. Count 10, felony firearm. And count 11, interfering with electronic communications. You're going to hear from Melissa that in that incident, he broke into her home, threw her to the ground, specifically kept punching her in the ribs that he had broken a couple weeks prior, and tried to cut her wrist with her own scissors while telling her, "I'm going to kill you, I'm going to kill you." He also choked her, here's the point of unconsciousness. And when she wanted to try and call for help, he made sure to take her phone away so she couldn't call the police. You are also going to see text messages leading up to that point and from that day where he says, "I'm coming in, I'm going to break your door down." And you're going to see photographs that Alyssa took of her injuries from this incident, of the bruises and scratches on her arms and legs, as well as how he destroyed several rooms of her home. Then, very next month, beats her again and strangles her again, because he needed to make sure he was in control of her. That's for count 4. Now, throughout 2020, as she will anticipate, readily admit, it's hard to remember at what point throughout that year he strangled her unconscious again. But then we also have criminal sexual conduct in the first degree. They were in a relationship and they had consensual sex. They did. This night they were together. And after a not large amount of alcohol, from alcohol he gave her, she blacks out. Unlike how that usually happens for her. That is not something that happens to her when she drinks, especially that amount. She wakes up with him with her head under the shower. And then a couple of weeks later, she's going through his phone and she sees something. What she sees is a video of herself, unconscious, and him violating her while she is unconscious. Not only inserting himself into her, but inserting sex toy into her anus. She has to find out that she was raped because she saw it in his phone. Because it's not about hearing her scream. It's about taking what he wants, when he wants, how he wants it. It's about making sure she is under his control at all times. Does not get a say, does not get a vote. It's what he wants to do that day at that moment. And that's count 13, criminal sexual conduct in the first degree. Then, September 2023, what I refer to as the final straw. She's not doing what he wants. She's not letting him be around the kids.
She's not what?
Letting him be around the kids like he wants. And what he decides to do is post screenshots he took from that video of her unconscious, a photograph of her social security card that he had taken with the caption, "Got a good ID, willing to sell it for $100." And a video he had taken of her giving him a blowjob. Social media threat. And he taunt her by immediately sending her the metrics of how those posts were doing on social media and saying, "You're gonna go viral, bitch." Because this is part of the pattern of what he would use against her, of violence and extortion. And she said, "I'm calling the police." And she did. September 2023, she reported this to the police. And a criminal case got started. With a no contact order in place where he is not to contact her, period. Court order. But of course, he then does. Gets text now number, messaged her, "Baby, I love you so much. You know, we just need to work together for the kids. You know, we can be good now." See, that's the other method of manipulation you would use when the threats wouldn't work. "I changed. I love you. We have kids together. It'll be okay. It won't happen again. Just come back." And then in 2024, when Detective Brandon contacts Alyssa for follow-up interview, that's when the floodgates open. That's when we learn about the sheer extent of that man's crimes, of that man's violence and depravity against Alyssa. And that's when this changes from harassing on Facebook over text to 18 counts. The police then execute searches at his residence. And what they find is not only her driver's license and social security card, which he should not have, the sex toy that he used on Alyssa, next to her broken cell phone that he had taken from her, but also hidden in between his mattresses is a stolen firearm. Which is how we have the charges from November 19th, 2024. Firearms, receiving, concealing, stolen property, and then felony firearm. Having the firearm in your possession when you commit the other crime. You're going to hear that at the one house, he had a gun that was broken, in a case, in his closet, open for anyone to see. See, that one wasn't stolen. But then at the other property, with the stolen gun, it was hidden inside of his mattress. Because he knew it was stolen. And he didn't want it to be found, he concealed it. This man has run the gamut of crimes that he could do against Alyssa. I have no doubt this is going to be difficult for her. She testified back in December of 2024 about these matters to a different court, to a lower court, before it gets to a trial here. And I know that was difficult for her. What I'm asking you to do is listen to her tell you about some of the worst moments of her life committed on her by someone who's supposed to love her, who's supposed to, at the very least, not bruise her and beat her and rape her, the mother of his children. I'm going to ask you to listen to what she says and view it critically. Does what she's saying match up with the other evidence that we have here, with the fact that he has her personal identifying information in his drawer, with a bunch of other people's personal identifying information? Does it line up with the text messages threatening to murder her, threatening to break her door down? Text messages where he is taunting her about posting her most intimate parts of her to people on Facebook, to strangers on Reddit. Does it line up with her texting him, "I'm not coming back, you beat me, I could have died, you beat me," and him not denying it, saying, "I'm sorry, we'll be good now"? After Alyssa's done testifying, you're going to hear from Detective Brandman about the investigation she did, as well as officers who helped her with conducting the searches at both of his residences. You're going to see photographs of what was found. You're going to see text messages that that man sent. You are going to see undeniable proof that he had this firearm that was reported stolen. His own videos he posted to social media. And then I'm going to rest. I'm going to be done giving you evidence. And then it'll be the defense's turn. I have absolutely no idea what the defense argument is going to be in this trial. I have no idea what they could be in this type of case. I'm going to find out about it at the same time you all do. And I'm going to ask you to judge that critically as well, to determine what evidence that's been shown to you is credible, what is believable. And then I'm going to ask you to come back with verdicts of guilty of all 18 counts, because I am confident there will be no reasonable doubt as to what that man did to Alyssa Clark. There's not going to be any reasonable doubt of the fear and pain that he put her through. I'm going to ask you to come back with a verdict of guilty. Thank you.
On behalf of defendant opening,
Yes, Your Honor, we would choose to go forward at this time.
you may proceed.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
14 folks, either directly or indirectly, told Mr. Piper and I that the fact that Mr. Brooks is charged with 18 separate counts, 18 separate crimes, that you nevertheless could be fair and impartial. And Mr. Brooks and I are looking forward to that. I recall the word believe or believable perhaps was used. I'm going to respectfully ask that when you listen to witnesses, focus on reliable. How reliable is that person's testimony? I gave a quick example of a third grader giving stock advice. It could be correct, but it's likely not very reliable. As we go forward here, it is the position of the defense in this case that the case will essentially rise or fall on the testimony of Ms. Clark. And if I'm not mistaken, you'll hear from her today. She is the woman who is making all of these claims. And if you can, in addition to focusing on reliable versus believable, I'm also going to just simply ask that you keep an open mind. And I heard Judge mention this a few moments ago. Try to keep an open mind. Because the proofs, the evidence are not all in until each witness has testified. And that includes direct examination by Mr. Piper, as well as cross-examination by the defendants. Okay, just keep an open mind. The long story short is that Mr. Brooks is not asking from you anything more than a fair shake, just a fair shake. And you will each make up your minds once all the proofs are in front of you. Now, to be sure, in terms of some kind of roadmap, are there going to be text messages between Ms. Clark and Mr. Brooks? Yes, there are. And did Mr. Brooks use some awful language, some foul language as he was texting her? Yes, he did. On the other hand, he's not on trial for using foul language in a text message. And I believe that those who are in agreement that actions speak louder than words will benefit from that observation. And I also believe that you will see some equally foul language from Ms. Clark to Mr. Brooks. So think of that whatever you think you should. Mr. Pfeiffer asked, what possible defense could there be? It's simply this. Someone can look at a picture. Someone can hear someone speak and draw conclusions. The question is, are those conclusions correct? Or perhaps not. Perhaps they don't stand for whatever the witness claims they stand for. And that will become more clear to you in short order. This is not closing argument, this is opening statement. And so I'm just asking you to keep an open mind, give Mr. Brooks a fair shake, and the rest of it will become clear. Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. At this time, does the jury need a break? Is anybody shaking their head? Yes, so let's proceed with our first one.
Absolutely. People call us Clark.
You need Elmo, what do you need? What do you need first?
HDMI, let's leave it on that for now.
Okay, I'm just gonna leave it right there then.
Thank you.
Good morning. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury? I do. Thank you. Put your hand down. You see. Pull the chair right up to the microphone and it's bendable, so feel free to adjust it. Yes. Please state and spell your name for the record.
Alyssa Clark, ALLYSSACLARK.
All right, thank you. Pull the chair a little bit further. Yeah, thank you. And ma'am, I need you to use words that could be found in a dictionary rather than saying or nodding your head, yes or no. those kinds of things. If you don't understand the question, my counsel know they'll rephrase it. It's okay to ignore me, and just talk to the jury. And if you need, anything, we've got some water there, Kleenex, let me know. Additionally, if you hear an objection, do not answer the question until I made a ruling as to whether or not you can. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Counsel, you may proceed.
Thank you. Good morning, Alyssa.
Hello.
I want you to try and keep your voice up as best as you can. We need to act like you're talking to Ava over there back in the gallery, because this court has a tendency to kind of eat the noise, eat the sound. More than that, I want you to do your best to, instead of shaking your head, nodding yes or no, saying mm-hmm or mm-mm, to try and respond to questions with yeses and nos where applicable. I know it's the most basic human instinct in the world to communicate that way. I do it myself, but we have to make sure that it's very clear verbal responses for the record, okay? Is that a yes?
Yes, sorry.
See what I mean? That is the most instinctive thing, and we're both gonna be guilty of this throughout today.
Yes,
All right.
I understand.
And
Okay.
let counsel finish their questions before you jump in and answer, and they'll do the same thing, okay?
So can you please state and spell your name for the record?
She already did that.
My apologies. Alyssa, do you know an Enrico Brooks?
Yes.
How do you know that man?
He's my children's biological father.
And were you two in a relationship together?
Yes.
How long were you guys in a relationship for?
Like on and off around 5 years.
Okay, and when did it start? When did it end, to the best of your memory?
I would say like 2017, and then my daughter was born like 2021.
Now, how did the relationship begin? What was it like in the beginning?
We were teenagers, so we just like kind of met like through mutual friends. Then it went on from there.
What was it like? Was it good? Was it bad?
It was good at first. Like we were just like basically friends.
And then you said at first, so at some point that changed?
Yeah, when I got pregnant with our first daughter.
How did that relationship change once you became pregnant?
He just like completely changed. Just like basically acting like he didn't know me.
In what way?
Like telling everyone that he didn't know me and that it wasn't his baby, and yeah, basically that.
At some point, did he finally acknowledge that it was his kid?
Yes.
And then did he want to be in a relationship with you at that point?
Yes.
What can you tell us about when that started? When he was like, no, we're going to be together now.
It was a little bit like a couple months after we got the DNA test back with my daughter.
Do you know what month or year approximately?
This was 2017. I filed for like a DNA test like as soon as she was born.
So that'd be around like 2018?
No, like my daughter was like 6 months. She was born in April, so like around like September of that year.
And then when he said, no, we're going to be in a relationship now, was that relationship still good?
Yes, kind of. It wasn't as volatile as it got.
How did it start to become volatile?
Just more like controlling, like it was always an issue with things, wasn't really helping take care of the kid, like most of like the help I got was like from his mom.
Now, what can you tell us when you said the word controlled? What can you tell us about that?
Basically, like most of it was like over social media things, just starting fights over just like liking pictures, stuff like that.
Now, these fights were, at this point, were they just verbal?
Yes,
At some point that changed to becoming physical?
yes.
What are you able to tell us about that change?
My daughter was like, it was, I want to say like a week before her first birthday. He first like put his hands on me, he had choked me, because I had brought my daughter to like one of my friend's house and there were other like, like men there. But I was just like, it was a funny story about like something my daughter had said, and he was just like, he like flipped, and was like, why is my daughter around other, he used a different expletive, but like he choked me with my daughter in my arms.
Now, you said this about a year after your daughter was born, right?
Yes.
First birthday. When was your daughter born?
April 2017.
So we're talking about the spring/summer of 2018.
Yes,
That's when it first became violent.
yes,
Was that the last time that he choked you?
no.
To the best of your memory, you're able to ballpark. How many times do you think that man choked you after that point?
At least 10.
That first time, what do you remember feeling?
I was afraid because like, again, he had never like done anything like that before, so I didn't really know like what to think. Like, we started fighting like after that, but
Was it scary?
yes, very,
Did things get worse as the years went on?
yes,
And that controlling behavior, did that also escalate?
yes.
What can you tell us about how that grew?
A CPS case opened because, he had spanked my daughter and she had bruises and my mom took her to the hospital. And then after that, like, we were just kind of going through the court case together, and at that point, I was afraid more to speak up because like, it kept making it kind of seem like I was complicit, but I didn't know what else to do because like, obviously the police had already been contacted, so.
Can you describe when you say you were choked, what? Where were his hands? Where did he choke you?
We were laying in the bed when this happened, and I had my daughter like on my chest, and he like kind of just like went over and choked me like that. And then after that, like I kind of pushed him off me, and then we like jumped up and we started like fighting off the bed because like my baby was like on the bed crying because like he had pushed
Because
her
your
off.
baby was what?
A year.
No, you said,
Was crying. She said my
Yes.
baby was like crying. So when you described that to me, you had both your hands across the front of your neck, is that correct?
Yes,
Is that generally how he did it?
yes.
Were there any differences in how he did it, like from the back, the side, or anything else?
No, usually like it was like
You showed to the jury.
sorry, like across my like throat like this.
If the,
Counsel?
if the record reflect that she put both hands across the front of her neck.
Any objection?
I don't have any objection to that. I do object to the witness speaking in terms of he usually, when we're focused on one day and one occasion.
Well, she did mention, I understand where you're coming from. That would be the first event, I think, that she described, but then she said there were about 10 others. So we don't have dates to those. I'm sure council will get to that, but what she did testify to is that for each of those, let me make sure I have it right, ma'am. For each of those 10 or so times, it was always in the same manner that you just showed us. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. Your objections noted, shall be reflected in the record as to her. how
Thank you for
described
your
it.
clarification, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. Counsel, you may proceed.
Now, apart from the physical control there, the strangling you, did he start to threaten you?
Yes.
Your Honor, I'd like to approach with what's been marked as People's Proposed Exhibit 9.
You mean,
Melissa, I'd like you to look at each of the 3 pages of People's Proposed Exhibit 9 and tell me if you recognize these. And how do you recognize those?
The sex between us.
And does that have a date of how that starts at the top?
Yes.
What is that date?
May 6th, 2020.
Do these appear to accurately reflect those text messages around May 6, 2020 between you and Mr. Brooks?
Yes.
Your Honor, people seek to admit and publish People's Proposed Exhibit 9.
any objection or voir dire?
Just one voir dire, if I may, please.
You may.
Thank you.
approved.
May. Exhibit 9 is admitted.
I'd seek to publish at this time using the Elmo.
Okay.
Thank you. Now, these were screenshots that you took and sent to the detective, correct?
Yes.
And the messages on the left in gray are from Enrico and on the right are from you.
Yes.
Now I'm going to read these through briefly into the record. Enrico says, "Bitch, you're through. On God, you want to play? I'm going to fuck your whole life up. Just sit back and watch. I'll be getting all my shit through that window I unlocked too. Thanks, clown." Now, before I keep going, what did he mean by that window that he unlocked?
The window to my house.
Now, that house, was that 2700 Eaton Rapids Road?
Yes.
Is that in Lansing?
Yes.
Is that in Ingham County?
I think it's Ian.
It's still within the city of Lansing.
Yes.
So it's right on the border there.
Yeah, it's a whole school district.
I'm sorry, I can't.
I'm sorry, yes.
Stipulate you're under.
Yes, it's Lansing. It's like near MLK.
Thank you. I'll be able to establish that that's still within Ingham County, the detective.
Thank you.
So he did not live there at that point, correct?
No.
You then say, "My life means more to me than that shit, and you're gonna kill me one day. I'm straight." And he replies, "And bitch, you want to post it on Facebook? Someone gonna call CPS. You gotta be the stupidest bitch in the world. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna keep arguing with you. You want to be done? Okay, that's fine. I'll be dropping girls off tomorrow noon. I'll get them Saturday for a little on my birthday, then bring them back. Shit went too far. We not seeing eye to eye with the situation. You finally got what you wanted. And delete the fucking status. That was the stupidest shit you could have posted. You're just showing you're not watching your kids." You respond, "Nah, I was just as scared as you. Ask your grandma. I was going crazy, yelling and shit. You choose to put your hands on me in any situation. Stop blaming what happened. You're violent and I refuse to be the next girl on the news dead because of love. Love is not worth my life and being able to see my kids grow up, period. I can't even stop crying and throwing up at work. This shit is so embarrassing. MF's no fuck going on. They see the bruises, N-word, they see me coming to work, upset nobody, it's fucking stupid. I'm about to have to get a whole new job. And then you talking about getting some damn gifts like you didn't just choke me out." Now you sent that on May 6th of 2020. Do you remember what incident happened before that?
Yes, I went for a walk around the neighborhood because I often did do that. And I left my 2 babies with his grandma, and I guess she had the baby with her in the bathroom. But there's like an air conditioning unit in like his bedroom, and the window was open. So some like neighborhood kids had helped my daughter was only 3 at the time. And while I was out on the walk, the neighborhood kids had got my daughter out of the window. And so when I came back, his grandma told me your daughter just was outside. I'm like, what do you mean?
Objection, hearsay.
It's a fact on the listener, Your Honor.
Huh?
It's a fact on the listener, Your Honor. It's not for the truth of the matter asserted here.
All right, I'll allow it for that reason.
Thank you.
So I had like went to the neighbor's house to talk to their mom because like the kids were way older, like 8, 9, and my baby's only like 3, so like I was like talking to the mom or whatever, and then when he got back, I let him know what happened, and we got to a physical altercation. He
And
choked
we got what?
into a physical altercation, and he was like choking me, going like ballistic. His friend was outside. His grandma had to go get his friend and like have his friend come in and stop him from like attacking me in front of our kids
And where did this happen?
at his grandma's house.
And do you remember where that is?
Yes, it's Mill Pond.
Now, Mill Pond, is that the name of the street or the,
That's the name of it's like a trailer park.
is that at 1701 Millstone?
Yes.
Is that in Lansing?
I think that's Holt. Maybe Lansing, I'm not really sure.
Well, would you agree with me that Holt is in Ingham County?
Yes.
Now, he says here, you want to be done, okay, that's fine. Did he actually let you not be with him anymore after that?
No.
What happened?
After that, like I was living in Stonegate, the other house that the other thing happened at, and we were going back and forth. Like it's hard to explain because like after the fights, like it would just go back to like normal. Like I don't. Like, we were fine after that. Like fine.
So after he would physically hurt you, he would then act like everything was normal.
Yeah, like try to make it up, like say sorry, and like promise he wasn't gonna do it again. And
How did that affect you? Like that just whiplash between extremes?
it just made it hard to like really even understand what was going on or process it.
Now, I want to approach with what's marked as People's Proposed Exhibit 10, if I may, Your Honor.
You mean?
For record, all these were already shown while being marked to defense earlier today. Lisa, could you please look through each page of that exhibit and tell us if you recognize this?
It's a pro process doing that.
Yes.
Thank you.
I got you. Oh, yeah. I'll do my best on that front.
Thank you.
Alyssa, do you recognize what's in People's Proposed Exhibit 10?
Yes,
And how do you recognize it?
it's text messages between us.
And does it have a date at the top?
Yes, May 18th, 2020.
Does that appear to accurately reflect those text messages between you and the defendant?
Yes.
Your Honor, people seek to admit and publish People's Proposed Exhibit 10.
Any objection or voir dire?
Neither, Your Honor, thank you.
Admitted.
So the one that we were just looking at was May 6th. Now this is May 18th, so less than 2 weeks later, right? Now, it starts with Mercy there yet. Who's Mercy?
Our oldest daughter.
So the defendant asks, Mercy there yet? You say, no, my cousin isn't off work yet. He has my aunt's car. And he says, I'm beating your ass. You ask for what? He says, you gonna see. Just no motherfuckers got big ass mouths around Lansing. Hope it was worth what's about to happen. On my way. Bitch, I'm about to pull up. I know you see me texting. Don't make me kick that.
Start with the.
Bitch, I'm about to pull up. I know you see me texting. Don't make me kick that motherfucker in. I want to start with I'm beating your ass. Is that a common threat that he would make to you?
Yes.
Did he frequently make good on that threat?
Yes,
And this was less than 2 weeks after he said, okay, yep, we can be good. We don't need to be together anymore, right?
Yeah.
And he says, don't make me kick that motherfucker in. What did you take that to mean?
that he was gonna break in.
To your house on,
Yeah,
I apologize, Eaton Rapids Road?
yes,
You say I was in the shower, relax, and I don't know what you're talking about. Thought you was pulling up. My aunt want to keep Mercy another night. He responds, you gotta be a stupid motherfucker to even ask me that. Tell her bring my motherfucking kid home ASAP. Did you not see me on your ass about her having her this long? And you talking about staying the night, another night? You gotta be the stupidest motherfucker to even ask. The answer is no, fuck no. You say, you know what, enjoy your night. I didn't do shit to you for you to be talking to me like that. He says, bitch, bring my motherfucking kid home now. Or on my kids, I'm gonna come tear that bitch down. She better be home before 9, or on my kids, I'm gonna come fuck you up. Stupid bitch, I'm on my way. You think this is a game? I'll blow that bitch down. He responded with, not there anymore. And he says, bitch, I'm kicking the door in. I put that on my kids and everyone dead. I'm done talking. I'm around the corner. Stupid ass, dumbass bitch. You better not have my baby out and Mercy better be on the way or I'm gonna fucking kill you. I put that on the Bible, bitch. Don't play with your life. Did he frequently threaten to kill you?
yes,
And were you worried that he would make good on those threats as well?
yes, very.
And this is from May 18th. Do you remember if he assaulted you that day?
Yes, he had left for like a little bit, a week and a half, like that's what that gap is from the May 6th to the May 18th. He told me he went to Texas. I don't know where he was really at, but he was watching the kids while I went to work. Like normally he was like the childcare. So that's why my daughter was with my aunt and he was upset that she had been there, but like I didn't have any other option. He just up and left. So then like he was mad at me, so cause I like let my daughter stay another night, so yes.
Do you remember what happened in that assault?
Yeah, he attacked me and I had a broken rib,
How did you break your ribs?
punching me.
What can you tell us about that?
We were at his house, like at his grandma's house, and like I said, like he was just upset that I let our daughters stay again, but I didn't really have any choice but like my aunt, like she's asking to keep her another night, like he's not reliable, like I might as well.
How does it get to the point where he starts punching you in your ribs? What are you able to remember about that?
He asked me why, like, didn't you like, why did you like leave her at your aunt's house? Like, you already know that because like he's still mad, like he was mad at my family because of the first CPS case, and he didn't want me sending my kids back over there.
Because they reported what they saw in Mercy.
Yes,
And then when does it start to the best of your memory? I know this is.
we were in the bed, like it's like again, like that's how it is. It starts off cool, like he'll play it cool to get me around him and act like he's not gonna do nothing, and then like will just attack me when he's, you know what I'm saying, I'm cornered.
So this was in, you said, the bedroom?
Yes.
What are you able to remember about how it felt when he was hitting you in your ribs?
Like it was so painful, and then like once everything was going like done, I could feel my bone like broken, and he kept telling me like, no, it's not broken, and blah blah blah, you wouldn't be able to walk, but like it literally was like poking through, like I could feel it under my skin.
What do you remember? That is an experience I've never had. What do you remember going through your head as you can feel your ribs pressing against your skin?
I really thought I was gonna die that night.
Did you end up getting medical attention?
I didn't, because again, like with the CPS stuff, like I didn't want to seek medical help because I felt like they were gonna take my kids again, which flash forward to the next week, it ended up happening anyways, because again, like, he got even crazier.
Just getting me fresh. Thank you. Okay. Thank you.
Your Honor, if I may approach what's marked as People's Post Exhibit 11.
Okay.
Alyssa, can you look at these two pages and tell me if you recognize what's in them?
Yes, I do.
And how do you recognize those?
There's text messages between us.
And is there a date at the top of those as well?
May 25th, 2020.
Does that appear to accurately reflect those text messages?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, people would seek to admit and publish People's Post Exhibit 11.
Any objection or voir dire?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Admitted.
So you said there was a worse incident a week later. So from May 18th, 2020, we now have May 25th. Here, you say, just meet me there. My ride gotta get somewhere to be. And he says, I'm smacking the fuck out of you, bitch. Stupid ass motherfucker. You say, for what? He says, bitch, I'm on my way. You say, you ain't had them in 2 weeks. You'll be okay. Is that you referring to him being gone and not
Yes.
being around your kids for those weeks?
Yes.
He says, about to be pulling up, open the door, N-word. I'm about to kick this bitch in and break everything. Bitch, you want to play? Okay, your door about to get tore down in a minute. That is at 7:34 a.m. Here, still May 25th, later in the day at 3:52 p.m. You say, where can we meet to exchange the kids? He says, swallow my dick, bitch. You respond with, Edward, you seen what I said? Later, 8:04, you texted, the police came earlier and seen me through the window. Someone called and they said they see me run from this house bleeding. Now they calling you so ignorant. Why the fuck you do this shit? CPS called, they calling your mom. What happened on May 25th after he texted you at 7:34? He's gonna beat you, he's gonna kick your door in, and then 3:52 p.m. we were texting him again about meeting up.
Cause I had somewhere to be, like, I think I had to work that night, I don't remember like what I had to do, but I had something to do, and I needed him to watch the kids. And he was like, basically like saying like, no, because again, like the week before, like we had that incident, you know what I'm saying? So he was still having an attitude about watching the kids. So after he like said, swallow, I did, I took the kids and I dropped them off, I knocked on the door, he opened the door. And I was like, here, and then I left, I got back in the Uber and I went to where I had to go. I went back to my house, he comes like immediately, like, I don't even, like, not even 30-40 minutes with the kids after that. Bust through the door and automatically was just like on that immediately, like, bitch, didn't I tell you? Not to leave these kids here and blah, blah, blah. Like, you think you're just about to go out and get fucked? And you think I don't know about the shit you was doing on Facebook? Because I guess like the first time through CPS, I had to do like some classes and I had I met somebody in the class and like, it's supposed to be like, you're not supposed to talk about that outside of like that, but the dude had told him that he knew me from the class and then was telling him the business that I had, cause you gotta talk about stuff that you're going through in the class. So he was upset that I had that boy still on my Facebook. I never talked to him, nothing, but he was still on my Facebook and I guess I asked him how he knew me or something. And he was just like,
So that's what set him off.
yes,
So he's kicked in the door, he's yelling at you. Does he then put his hands on you?
yes.
What can you tell us about how he put his hands on you that day?
And that's where, cause when he attacked me, he was choking me, punching me, like kicking me. He had slammed my head into the wall. Like there was a point where like we were fighting next to my bed and I woke up in my closet, like with him like shaking me. So it was a lot going on. Like I know I remember like my baby coming to the door and like he just like switched and he was just like sweet as can be and was just like, go back out there with Sissy. And then like came back right in and was just like going crazy. He had grabbed my nursing scissors, sliced my wrist, like I still have a scar on my wrist right now from him cutting me with my nursing scissors. Then like, once he calmed down, he's like, started going through my phone again. He ran at me, like he was running me a bath and he was sitting on the toilet. And so I ended up getting in the bath because like, I was just like trying to diffuse the situation because this had gone on for like literally over an hour of him just like going crazy, like going the hardest he could go. And so after I got out the bath, he's still going through my phone and he was going through my Snapchat and he seen some like pictures of me. And he was like, oh, so you're taking pictures like this? And I could just like feel it starting up again. So I just kind of was like quiet. I put my clothes on real quick and just acted like, you know, I was about to lay down. And then I ran out the back door.
This may seem like an obvious this may seem like a dumb question, but it's one I need to make sure there's a clear record here. Why did you run out of that house?
I thought he was going to attack me again. Like I really was in fear for my life. And like, I even left my kids, which is not something that like logically I would have done.
Now, you said he choked you. Again, this might seem like a dumb question based on what you've already testified to. Can you tell us what you mean by that word choke in this incident?
Again, both hands to my neck, choking me until I passed out.
Record could reflect she put both her hands around her neck.
It shall so reflect, you may proceed.
What do you remember him saying when he's trying to slice your wrists with your own scissors?
I don't remember. Like I literally was like, I was at that point, I was like trying to push him off me. Like I literally thought I was gonna die. And that's why it's so shoddy. Not only was like, I
And
choked
that's
him.
why what?
It's so shoddy because like I was choked unconscious. Like I was literally being beat. I had just had my rib broken the week before. And he was punching me in it again. Like it again, I was like literally over an hour between attacks.
At some point during this, does he take your phone away?
Yes.
Did you want your phone?
Yeah, he was going through it when I ran out the house, and that's why like I ran because I was about to start over again.
At some point earlier, did you want to call the police?
Yes,
Were you able to?
no,
Why?
because he had my phone.
Do you remember when, in that first assault and kicking in the door, he takes your phone?
Right, like pretty much at the front, because like I told you, like he was going off about the Facebook friend. He's like, so you're telling me you don't got niggas on your, and showed me the phone.
So he takes your phone and then he starts beating you.
Yeah,
You ended up taking photographs of some of the injuries that you suffered as a result of that day?
yes.
Your Honor, I'd like to approach with what's marked as People's Post Exhibits 1 through 8.
You may.
Melissa, I'd like for you to look through each of these 8 exhibits one by one. When you're done, let me know. You recognize what's in People's 1 through 8?
Yes.
How do you recognize those?
The pictures I took that day, and also pictures of him when he destroyed my house another day.
Okay, so those other 3 were a different day?
Yeah.
Got it. Do those appear to accurately represent some of the injuries you suffered that day?
Yes.
Your Honor, people seek to omit and publish People's Post Exhibits 1 through 5, and then I'll address 6 through 8 later.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Admitted. Thank you. 1 through 5 are admitted.
Thank you. I'm going to see if the Elmo will be kind to me. If not, I have digital versions. Digital versions of this. Yep. I have them listed as 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A, 5A.
For the record, I'm confident that these are what Mr. Pfeiffer portrays them to be, and certainly have no objection. Thank you.
Thank you. Admitted,
Thank you, Your Honor.
5, 6, 7, and 8.
Yes.
Thank you.
So here we have people's 1A. Showing red marks on your arm, correct?
Yes.
This is 2A. Also marks and bruises on your arm caused by him.
Yes.
This is 3. And I said this is when he tried to slice your wrist with your own nursing scissors.
Yes.
This is people's 4. That's your leg, correct?
Yes.
And all that bruising was caused that day?
Yeah, he was punching me in my legs over and over and over and over again.
And people's 5. Now, those are just the injuries that you took photos of, correct?
Yes.
You said on the incident on the 18th, when he kept punching you in the ribs to the point where they broke.
Yes.
Were they still broken at that point?
Yes.
Did your ribs get hit again during that
Yes, he
incident?
was purposely punching me in my ribs. And I kept telling him, like, begging, screaming for him to please stop. And he's like, you're not broken.
So he knew he was punching those ribs that you had already been saying were broken,
Yes.
that you could feel pressing against your skin.
Yes.
What do you remember going through your head during this? What are you able to remember?
Yes, like that's like I said, like that's probably like one of the worst like instances.
Do you think you were going to die that day?
Yes, absolutely. That's what I ran.
And why did you think that?
Cause he had never like, yes, we had like physical altercations, but this time was just like relentless. I really just like felt like he was gonna kill me, especially like with our daughters, like just in the other room and he just didn't care. Like I was literally screaming for my life.
We're gonna switch back to the Elmo, please, Brian. Thank you. Did you end up going back to him?
Yes.
Can you please tell us, to the best of your ability, why, after that incident, you went back to this man?
CPS was called that day and I just didn't really know like what to do. I was trying not to tell them.
CPS was called that day and
I was trying not to tell them what really happened, and then in that instance, it just became like basically, like he was telling me like, I'm gonna help you get them back type of thing, and like we just became like, again, like, I don't really know like why, I don't know why, like, I was fear, like, it was multiple reasons. I did have feelings for him, like this is my children's father, like, there's a lot of reasons. But mostly like when the CPS kicked in, it was just basically like, I didn't know what to do because like they obviously knew something was going on, but I didn't want to outright say that because I felt like it would make it worse.
In what way?
But they would take them, they ended up taking them anyway, so
So your concern was if CPS knew that you were with him and he was beating you, that they wouldn't let you be around your kids.
Yeah. And I couldn't get, like, again, even when I like did put my foot down, it just never ended well.
Your Honor, if I could approach with what's marked People's Post Exhibit 12. Alyssa, I know this one is lengthy, it's 18 pages. Could you please go through each page and then let me know when you're done?
It's hard to look through these.
Recognize. Do you recognize what you just saw in People's Post Exhibit 12?
Yes,
How do you recognize it?
they're test messages and students.
And are these starting September 15th of 2020?
Yes,
That you can accurately represent text messages between you and the defendant during September of 2020.
yes.
Or at this time, people would seek to admit and publish People's Post Exhibit 12.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Admitted.
September of that year, did you try leaving him again?
Yes,
I'll start here. You messaged him September 15th, 2020 at 10:52 a.m. Wanted to see if I'm okay, and word, wow, you're trash. Why? Why did you think he should have checked to see if you're okay?
because he had just assaulted me and that's why he told me to put some makeup on for our CPS visit.
That's why. What do you remember about that assault?
I believe that might have been when I got my hair done. I'm not really sure what time that was.
Well, what do you remember about the one where you got your hair done?
I had been sitting outside, like I was getting ready to get my hair done the next day and I had to blow dry it, but I was on the phone with my cousin's girlfriend and we were just sitting talking while I was in my car. And I finally came in. I had been out there for like 2 hours, but he wasn't even home. So I don't even know like if he was like watching me or what, but like, he knew that I was sitting out there for 2 hours when he came in the house, because I had started blow drying my hair.
And you say the house, are we talking
His
about,
grandma's house,
so we're talking about the one in Millstone?
yeah.
Okay.
So
So,
he asked me why I was outside for 2 hours, and I told him, like, I was talking to Stephanie. And he was like, oh, like, why are you being sneaky? Like, why the fuck would you need to be outside? You can't come inside. I was like, well, you weren't even here, so like, what would be the problem with coming in the house? Like, I just was sitting in my car.
would he frequently say that he, or indicate that he knew what you were doing or knew where you were?
Yes,
How did that make you feel?
scared, because like, he really did know where I was most of the time, so.
So he comes inside, he's yelling at you. What do you remember about it turning physical?
He's talking to me while he's standing up. I'm on the floor blow drying my hair because he had like this mirror on the side of his bed. And after like I told him, I was like, look, like I really was out here Stephanie. He was like, bitch, stop playing with me. He grabbed the blow dryer cord, started choking me with the blow dryer cord. My hands are like this with the blow dryer cord, like trying to go like this. He does music, so he had like this drone thing. So in order to get him off, I grabbed the drone and started like hitting him in the head to get him off of me. And so I kept like hitting him with the drone. And so he ended up grabbing some scissors, and like we were struggling with the scissors, and I ended up like accidentally stabbing him. He got stabbed in his hand. And so like that's like we were just like we were fighting, like, you know what I'm saying? Because again, he just tried to choke me out with my blow dryer.
And it's safe to say that he left marks on you. Wanted you to put on makeup.
Yes.
Before we get there, the record should reflect that as she's describing the cord in front of her neck, she grabbed the cord with what appeared to me to be close fists around the cord. Any objection to that description?
None, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor, thank
Thank
you.
you.
So he wanted you to put on makeup for your CPS visit so they wouldn't think there was anything wrong.
Yeah.
Then we move here, September 26, 2020. And he sends you
2020?
September 16th. Apologies, thank you, 2020. And he sends you what appears to be a screenshot from his own phone of messages to you.
Yeah.
Bitch, shut the fuck up before I come take that battery and cut that phone off right now. You know what's up, don't play with yourself. I'm right here, literally right here. You know what the fuck going on, play if you want. And then he texts you, bitch, you begged me to stay. Fuck you mean, you broke ass bitch. Stop playing with me before I really fuck this house up. Bitch, you real life miserable and mad. Beg me, bitch. You say, when? He replies, I'll take this TV and fuck this crib up in my kids. I'm assuming he meant on my kids. You say, you beat my ass for telling you to go every fucking week. He says, after I beat your ass, you begged me to stay, bitch. That's when need a rewind, bitch. When you message him, you beat my ass for telling you to go every fucking week. What do you mean by telling him to go?
I'll be telling him to leave my house. He used to, like, I changed my locks like 3 times and he fought me for my keys, like kept coming. I kept telling him, like, really even like, you know, we're in the middle of a CPS case, like they're on our ass, you keep doing stuff. I keep telling you, you gotta go now. Like, you really just gotta go. Cause like, if it's you or the kid, like I've been telling you, like you just you're not changing. You're just making stuff worse. And he would not leave my house.
So even when you changed the locks, he'd still get the key from you or find a way in.
Yeah.
Did it get to a point where you just stopped?
Yes, because honestly, like the police were not helping me. I was calling the police, like they tried to make it out like this narrative. I was telling them what was happening. I was telling the CPS people. Nobody cared. Like, and I felt like helpless because all that would happen is he would go to jail, he would get out and do it again. They would just keep letting him right back out.
Did that make you not want to come forward?
Yeah, because like at that point, what's the point? Like, it's just getting me in more trouble, like with my kids, with him fighting me. Like, it was just ruining my life even more at that point, I felt like.
When you tried to tell someone, would the violence from him then be worse after?
I mean, yeah, because like I would try to like make it to where like he wouldn't know that I'm like trying to get help, but.
You reply here, you're beating my ass, do you think I'm stupid? He says, stop playing with me, ugly. Shut the fuck up, bitch. Like I said, you're mine for life. Don't like it, you know what to do, because that's the only way out of this shit. That's your problem, you don't understand. So like I said, I'm done talking. If you ain't got nothing good to say, there's no need to reply by N-word. You stuck, so get over it and get back to work, N-word. I don't know what the fuck you think this is. Do you need a reality check? And I'm gonna give it to you if you don't stop fucking playing with me. So once again, get off my line if you ain't got nothing good to say, because I said what the fuck I said, I meant it, and you better play with me.
You better what?
Better to play with me. And he says, I love you. I'm at your house because I love you. No other reason. The quicker you realize that, the easier life gets. It's so motherfucking simple. I told you, take down a fucking video and you start all this shit. So no, I don't feel bad about shit. And no, I'm not going to apologize. I'm going to tell you this though. I let everything go and you need to do the same because you really have no other choice. And I'm going to let you know that. And I'm dead ass serious. So you can go ahead with a little tough guy act and acting like you're going to move out and all that shit. But the reality of it is, I'm not buying none of that shit. So bring your motherfucking ass home and let it go, like I said, or it can and will be a big motherfucking problem when I wake up. Because I promise, if I got to wake up to some BS messages, it's going to be on. Because I'm telling your motherfucking ass now to drop it. I'm going to sleep. It's no need to reply. Just read and let it sink in. We can grocery shop or something, but for now, work, motherfucker. That's what you at work for. Not to be texting me stupid ass motherfucking shit. If I say do something, then fucking do it. It's as simple as that. Is this an example of what you meant by him controlling you?
Yes.
Controlling even what you do when you're at work? Saying you're not allowed to text him while you're at work, your job is to work?
Yeah.
You reply with, you're not understanding, I'm not coming back to that house. I've survived off much less. I'm not going to keep being abused and controlled. Goodbye. You're the one who has to answer to God about taking your family's life away, not me. We're always going to be good, period. What do you mean? What did you mean by we're always going to be good, period?
Because like I feel like he was doing it on purpose, like to like hurt me, to like have the kids be gone from me, because there's no way that you know that's exactly why they're gone and you keep on doing it.
He then says, you've seen what I said, this for life. Only way out is death. You know what to do. I'm done talking N-word. Please don't get me on tip. I'm begging you. I ain't did shit yet. We keep motherfucking testing me. My patience is running short. And I keep fucking telling you to shut the fuck up and listen. I don't care about none of that shit, N-word. You know what the fuck it is. I'm going to sleep, N-word. I'm sorry, but I ain't going nowhere. You know this. I love you. Have a good rest of your day. It's Christmas Eve tomorrow. We ain't doing this. First said apparently that jumped in there from a different point. Did it feel like he loved you when he said the only way out is death?
No.
Did it feel like he loved you when he said you don't have any choice here?
No.
You reply with, why are you holding me hostage? All you do is beat me and treat me like shit. When I pop up dead, I hope that shit haunt you for life, because at this point, I'm gonna do what I gotta do to get out. I can't take it anymore. He replies, shut the fuck up. I said I ain't going nowhere. You know this. I said I love you. You replied, that's what you call love. Love makes someone want to die just to escape it. I think you're confused. You don't love me. I'm done pretending like you do. Before I go on, love makes someone want to die to escape it. Had it gotten to the point where you wanted to die?
Yes.
Why did you want to die at that point?
Because I felt like there was no other way out.
You thought death, or at least there was part of you that felt like death would be preferable.
Yeah.
What? Now you're tweaking. You say, stop playing yourself and just go be where you really want to be and stop taking it out on me. He replies, I said you mine for life, and you know this. I don't care what the fuck you think this is. You know it's death to get out, so take it how you want. I want to be here. That's why I'm here. Anyway. So to be clear, it's about what he where he wants to be, and that's it, right?
Yeah.
If I wanted to be somewhere else, trust and believe I would be there right now. Not arguing with your ass. Let's make that clear so you understand that. I don't care what you're talking about. We have September 16th, 2020 in the evening. Go back home or I'm pulling up. Think I'm playing. You replied, being crazy is not the way to win me back. This is when you're still trying to leave him, correct?
Yes.
He says, I don't give a fuck what you talking about. Ain't no win you back. Fuck you mean. I said it ain't over till you're dead. You know I'm dead ass serious. Serious. Didn't I say go home? He replied here with, you still don't fucking get it. I don't give a fuck what you're talking about. Change or get your ass the fuck on. You don't get AF what I'm talking about? Bet. Watch now. Give. You said all this because you want to hit me so bad. Pathetic. He replies, no, because you're playing. I miss you. So right after he says the only way out and away from me is to die, he talks about how he misses you. Getting those very different messages back to back. What are you able to tell us about how that affected you mentally?
At first it was confusing, but not like, as time went on, it just like, again, I just like could see that it was just like a control thing, like.
At the time, did it make it more difficult to keep your resolve and not go back?
Yeah.
Throughout your attempts to leave him, did these types of statements of I miss you, I love you, did that work in bringing you back from time to time?
Yes.
You replied here with, I miss you too. We got shit you need to figure out, like how to deal with your emotions non-violently. I'm not going to keep going through that shit, and that's what you're not understanding. He responds, why? WYA, question mark. I'm about to slide. At some point, did he take the battery out of your car?
Yes.
You remember when that was?
Around that time though.
So on page 11, he says, you think you single? Watch. You say, shut the fuck up and leave me alone before you really piss me off. He says, bitch, you've been pissing me off. You think I give a fuck? I'm on my way, bitch. Fuck you mean. Get mad because I'm mad, bitch. He replied, you're sorry, ASF. He says, want to add motherfuckers? Didn't you just want to add motherfuckers? Didn't you just get beat for it? You don't learn, huh? He replied with, I added my family. Get your weird obsessed ass the fuck on. He says, obsessed with who? Bitch, I own you. You're my property. Bitch, fuck you mean. He responded with ew. And he says, you about to see. You're obsessed with me, bitch. Got all your friends stalking my page. Bitch, I own you. Fuck you talking about rat ass bitch. Like I said, it's up. I told you, listen. Battery gone. I can have my family on my page, you ducking weirdo. It says clicking the button to see if it works, like I ain't really about to take this bitch. You say I'm not even home, that's how I know you lying. He says, bitch, I never once said you were home. I have GPS on the car. Fuck you mean, I'm on my way, I'm done talking. Remember I told you to listen. Is that the only time that he would say he had GPS tracking on your car?
No.
Did you believe that to be true?
Yeah,
Why?
because he always seemed to know where I was.
You said you're not driving all the way to Battle Creek, clown. He says, your broke ass ain't out there. Your car won't even make it, bitch. I see where you're at right now, fucking clown ass bitch. Now I'm really coming to beat your ass. Bitch, I want to lie about where you at, bet. You say I'm about to call the police, you need to leave me alone. He says bitch stuff, then shut the fuck up. Come out before I take this battery and jump through this window. Reply with you make me hate you. Bitch, come out. I said what I said. Respond with, all I ask is for you to stop beating me, and this is what you do, get the fuck out. Come on. I said I'm done, didn't I? N-word, come on. And you said that a million times, I'm not fucking with it till I see some change. He says, come out. You said, I don't know how many times I gotta tell you I'm not home. He says, N-word, I see it on the fucking GPS. Reply with, and my car is not home, so what the fuck are you talking about? He says, bitch, I'm by your car, bitch. What don't you get? I got GPS. Come the fuck out or I'm breaking this bitch. Bitch, this is my last time telling you, on my kids. You respond with, break it, I'm taking you to court to pay for it and pressing harassment charges. I'm not playing with you. He responds with, bitch, you know I don't give a fuck. This what you want, bitch. Bet, I told you to come out. And then he sends you a couple photographs that aren't here. Bitch, you're gonna get someone killed in that motherfucking house. Once I press play, ain't no going back. It's my last time telling you. Stupid bitch, you gotta see the girls in the morning and probably drop to put your makeup on in the morning. Fucking idiot bitch. And then September 17th, 2020, the next morning, put your makeup on in long sleeves and pants. Don't forget your mask, you gotta put them on. So he stole the battery out of your car on September 16th.
Yeah.
How did that affect you?
I was upset, and so I went to his house to try to get it.
Did that work?
Yeah, I got the battery back, but like we got into an altercation.
Did he assault you again?
Yes.
Is that why the next day he's telling you to put your makeup on,
Yeah.
like the last time?
Yeah.
Would he try and stop you or threaten you from reporting what he did to police or participating in a case against him?
Yes.
Did that make it difficult to tell police what he'd been doing to you?
Yes, because he was threatening to call CPS and tell them that he had been there so that the kids would be taken. Like, for good.
So he was fine with both of you losing the kids in order to stop you from telling people what he was doing to you.
Yes.
Was that effective on you?
Yes.
Is it safe to say you were willing to put up with that to still have your kids in your life?
Yeah, I was trying to figure out a way to like leave the situation without letting it be known.
Before we get further into that here text, you said on May 25th, he attacked you with your own scissors, right? Say yes.
Yes.
Was that the only weapon that he used on you during this year?
No.
What other weapons did he use on you?
A gun.
Was it a handgun or a long gun?
A handgun that he actually hit me with
Where did he hit you with it?
in my jaw, and he also shoved the barrel in my mouth.
Did he say anything when he did that?
Actually, I really don't. I was like so fearful in that moment. I thought he was going to shoot me.
Is it safe to say your focus was more on the barrel in your mouth and not what he was saying? Do you remember when this happened?
It was around that, like, I know that the kids have been taken for the second time, so. It was around, like, it had to been at sometime after June, somewhere between June and November.
And we're talking 2020, right?
Yeah.
Was there another assault that happened in June?
I believe, if we're talking about where I was talking to another man. Yeah,
What happened in that one?
he had logged himself into, like, he put his email and his phone number in my phone while I was sleeping at some point. I don't even like, and this is the thing too, like, I found out later that it was longer than I thought that he had access to my phone.
He had away.
Access to my phone, like all my notifications and stuff were getting sent to him, like he had logged in himself into my accounts. So, like, he had, like, we were broken up at this point, like, we were still like not, like, we were still talk, like, text each other like romantically a little bit, but he had another, like, a girlfriend.
This was during one of the off periods.
Yeah, but
I
like I
beg your
said,
pardon, Your Honor, could the witness be informed to perhaps slow her speech down just a little bit? Thank you.
Sorry, just talk a little bit slower and maybe into the microphone a little, thank you.
so we were still like talking to each other, but like, we both, like, I mean, he had a whole, like, other girl that he was dealing with, so like,
But at some point, he hurts you again.
yeah, I was messaging the boy, and then he started sending me screenshots to my phone, like, oh, you think you're slick, like, of us, our conversation.
He was sending you screenshots that he was taking on his phone of what was happening on yours.
Yeah, because he had like put his account information in, like, on my phone, so that, like, to link my accounts to his stuff. So he was sending me screenshots of me talking to the boy and was like, oh, so you think you're slick and all this other stuff. And he was like, you need to come right now. I was at work. He was like, come see me on your break. Like, I need to talk to you right now. And I went because.
Okay, hold on. Slow down.
Sorry. So he wanted to talk to me.
Hold on, I'll tell you where to start. He said you need to come right now, and he said,
He basically said, if you don't come right now, I'm gonna tell some people that, like, you've been messing with me. So I came.
What people?
CBS.
So he was saying, he's again threatening to have you lose your kids if you don't do what he says.
Yeah, so my job was only like 5 minutes away from his house. So I just Ubered there real quick, because he said he wanted to talk about, like, what he's seen in my home.
So what happened once you got to his place? And that's Millstone again, correct?
Yes. So he told me to sit down on the bed, and he's talking to me, like, standing up. And he basically was just saying, like, okay, like, we're done with this, we're gonna drop, like, the other people, and we're just gonna focus on, you know what I'm saying, the kids or whatever.
You've got to slow down, ma'am.
Sorry, we're just gonna focus on the kids. And
Okay, so he was saying, because he saw you were talking to somebody else, even while you're broken up. Nope, we're back together now. It's just us.
yeah,
Can't be with anybody else.
yeah.
Did you want to do that at that point?
Not really, because, like, again, like, we're fresh in a new CPS case, and like, we're like, you know, you just broke my ribs the month before, so.
What happens when you don't agree to do this?
I did agree. I disagree with him, and like, I guess he got, like, I don't, like, he had punched me in my chest. He like calmed down a little bit, because I think like he was like trying to like convince me to be with him, but like he was like losing it, because like he was just seeing that. And so like he punched me so hard, it knocked the wind out of me. So I was just like on the bed, curled up. And so he was like, come on, like, again, like changing his whole demeanor, like he didn't just punch me in my chest. He told me to come up to the top of the bed. So like he was laying at the top of the bed.
And what happens once you do what he says and go to the top of the bed?
We're laying there and we're talking again. He's just like, I love you. I don't want to be doing this. Like, I don't want to get mad like that. And then I don't know what switched. He just grabbed me and choked me, and I like passed out.
Now, when you said he grabbed me and choked me, you used your right arm to wrap it around your,
Yeah,
your
and
right
that's,
hand.
that's another, like, one variation, like, this was a little different, because we're like laying down type of thing. And
So
he just,
this time it wasn't both hands, he grabbed you with the one hand
yeah,
around the
so
back.
I will correct myself.
Hold on,
Ma'am,
you're talking at the same time, and you're
Oh,
going
sorry.
too fast.
you really gotta slow it down
Sorry.
and let counsel stop his question before you jump in and vice versa, both of you.
You all set, Nancy?
I have your question, I just need an answer.
So this time he used one hand to choke you.
Yes,
That was June of 2020, correct?
yeah,
So after he hits you in the chest and chokes you, you still agree to go back with him. Is that right?
I mean, yeah, I
Did you feel like you had any choice in that matter?
mean, no, it was kind of crazy, because like I said, like, in that moment, he was going back on, like, being like nice, like, oh, we don't need to be doing this, and like losing it, like snapping, like he couldn't control himself or something, but then, like, when I woke up, he said, I love you so much, Jill, so I just took that to me, and like, again, I felt hopeless at the time, because the police had just came to my door, like, the month before, I had broken ribs, everything, and nothing happened.
So after you regained consciousness from him choking you out, he's saying, I love you.
Yeah,
We need to be together.
yes.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, thank you.
And if I could approach what's been marked as People's Post Exhibit 13.
You may.
I know this is another lengthy one at 16 pages. I need you to look through each of them, and then when you're done, let me know. All set?
Yeah.
Now, do you recognize what's there in People's Post Exhibit 13?
Yes,
And how do you recognize those?
there's sex agreements,
And do those texts cover November of 2020,
yes,
starting with November 1st, 2020?
yes,
They could accurately reflect those text messages.
yes.
Here, at this time, people would seek to admit and publish People's Post Exhibit 13.
Any objection or voir dire?
Neither, Your Honor, thank you.
Admitted.
Starts here November 1st, 2020 at 6:14 p.m. He asks, your phone back up? Question mark. I love you. And you reply with, I'm sorry, but at this point, love isn't enough. I love you too, but you need to find help, and I'm not being funny. If you want us back, you need to go to therapy. He says, I know, I'm sorry. You help me sign up, I'll do anything. Well, I guess I will. He says, promise. I'm sorry, baby, for real. I don't even know what any of that was about, but I'm sorry. Baby, please. I'm sorry. You say, sorry, not gonna cut it this time, Rico. He says, what did I do to make you want to leave? Please just tell me that. Do. You say, you know what you were doing when you brought that TV in the room. On my kids, I didn't. I had only slept 3 hours and you were trying to be a dickhead. I was trying to lay with you and Veda. Who's Veda?
His other daughter,
And how old is Veda?
She's 9.
So at that point, she would have been 3 or 4?
Yeah.
Respond with, yeah, you did. He said, that's why I said, oh, you up, Veda, come here. I was trying to lay with y'all, that's all. Baby, I'm sorry. You say, regardless, I don't care, I'm allowed to leave. I said, I didn't know that, I know you are. It's okay. I was confused, I'm sorry. You say, no, you don't know what I am. He said, why didn't you just tell me you was leaving? You say, no, so what happens next time you confused? Nothing, baby, communication. You said, the real reason I'm done for real this time is because you did that shit in front of your daughter. You showed me you really cannot be trusted. It's one thing to play with myself. What I'm not going to do is play with my babies. I got them taken twice, and you still do it if your children, your flesh and blood, the being you created, don't stop you. Then some little phony ass feelings you got from me definitely ain't going to stop you. I tried all I can try. I'm out of chances for real. You could have left me brain dead today. Baby, I know I'm so sorry. I wasn't kidding at all. I really could feel myself trying to wake up, but I couldn't. He says, I'm sorry, baby. He replied, I am too, because I really want better for us, but it is what it is. I wasn't important enough for you to keep it together. Simple. He says, I'm trying, baby. I was so excited about putting tree up. I'm so sorry. You said, you almost killed me today. That's not trying up. You put your hands on me 4 times in 1 week. I'm not listening to it anymore. Go get help and show progress, and maybe I'll believe anything you say. Incorrect. Trying. He says, baby, I love you. You say, no, you don't. You want to own me. You did all that to show possession and control. No, I didn't at all, or I would have kept your phone. That's not the case. I love you so much. Before we get further in here, what happened that you are talking about here?
That morning I had just got off work, so I was trying to sleep. And he brought the TV in with his daughter, and I asked him, like, can you take the TV back out to the living room because I'm trying to sleep. And so he caught like an attitude about that, and like we started arguing, basically. And then like my friend wanted to go to the grocery store, I think. And like he was saying that I can't go with her to the grocery store.
So you wanted to leave and he was telling you no.
Yes.
What do you remember happening next?
Well, my friend was there, so he really like the focus like kind of was on her at first. Like he was just telling her like get the fuck out the house. Like I already told her she can't go. Like he was cussing her out. And she was basically like, well, I don't know what y'all got going on, but like, Abby, like, you should let him tell you what to do. Like, you can come to the grocery store if you want to go to the grocery store. So then, like, he just like got crazy. He had like a gun and was like threatening us with the gun. And I like, this is my friend. Like, she was my best friend. So I'm like trying to like diffuse the situation because like.
Who was this friend?
Her name is Minnie.
And what was her last name?
Minnie.
Minnie?
Yes.
And what was the last name?
James.
So he's threatening you guys with a gun. Do you remember what type of gun?
Yeah, it was like a long rifle.
Do you remember what it looked like, what color it was?
It's like brown and black.
Brown or tan?
Like tan.
Okay, so not like the wood in the courtroom here.
No.
Closer to maybe the walls?
Yeah.
So he threatened you with a gun, he threatened Minnie with a gun?
Yeah, so like I was trying to like stop him, and that's when he choked me. He choked me out, like again, I was unconscious, and I woke up to Minnie like trying to do CPR because we did our CNA training together and everything, like.
Ma'am, if we're on the road, I'm giving you a massive speeding ticket, okay? You are talking way too fast. The
Sorry.
court reporter, she's got to take down this record accurately, and she's really good at what she does, but you're gonna wear her out.
Sorry.
Okay, so just try. I know you're trying, but slow down. Thank you.
So you guys, you said you had done CNA training. What's CNA stand for?
Certified nursing assistant.
And so he threatened you or threatened Minnie with a rifle. He chokes you unconscious, and then you wake up to Minnie trying to do CPR on you.
Yeah.
Do you remember what happens next or how this ends?
I ran, like, again, like, after I got up, like, cause he had, like, slapped me, like, she was, like, he, like, pushed her over, 'cause, like, I'm waking up. And he, like, kind of like slapped my face a little bit, trying to, like, wake me up some more. And then, like, after that, I wasn't worried about nobody at that point, cause like, the baby, his daughter was still there, she's in the background crying. Minnie, like, he's still telling Minnie to get the fuck out, cause like, Minnie don't care, she just like, I don't know, like. And so I just ran out the house, I just ran, I left. And I ran, like, a couple houses down, and I knocked on the door and asked somebody to use their phone.
So when you say here, you almost killed me today, that's what you're referring to.
Yeah,
So far today, you've already described a couple different situations in 2020 where you thought he was going to kill you. Was that something that was frequent?
yes.
He says, I love you so much. I'm sorry, baby. You say, be sorry enough to want to protect me by getting me help before you come around me again. If you were really sorry, you would acknowledge that you're a danger to us. And I say us because by putting me in those situations, you're putting them in a situation to be lost to the foster care system. You're violent and impulsive. You know that you can't control yourself. So why would you risk putting me in harm's way? He replied, baby, I'm sorry. I want to be a family. I need you. I want you. Be clear. We're on page 7 so far. Has he denied at any point nearly killing you?
No.
No. He's saying, I want to be safe, but you don't care enough to give that to me. He says, I do care, baby, I promise. I don't know what happened. I don't know why you was mad. You reply with, you almost killed me. What are you not understanding? I don't care if you're sorry. He says, I don't know why I got mad, baby, please. And you say, I'm not going to argue, get help or stay away. He says, when can I get all my stuff? And you say, it's packed up by the back door. You can make sure everything in there. Now, at this point, were you two living together?
No, but he made his way into my house and was there whenever he wanted to be.
And he had some stuff there.
Yeah.
Did he give you a choice about whether or not he was going to be in your home?
No.
And what would happen when you would try and, for lack of a better word, defy what he wanted?
He assaulted.
He'd hit you?
Threatened. Yeah.
You message him, you don't care to stop because I just forgive you every time and let you come back. That can't be it this time. My friend literally had to give me CPR now. It's really not a game anymore. This could have been my last day, and my daughters would have never understood what happened to their mom. My daughters almost lost their mom over a trip down the street. It's freaking me out. It's freaking me the fuck out thinking about it. I can't do this anymore. Talking about I was faking you, always think something is a joke. You almost took my life, then slapped the fuck out of me and told me to get the fuck up. Anybody who loved me would have seen my limp body and freaked the fuck out like my best friend did, how she jumped into action and not you. He says, N-word, I picked you up. What do you mean? Stop playing with me. I'm sorry, baby, for real. I love you so much. I know I don't show it at times, but I'm working on everything. I promise. You said, can't get a baby. Are you okay? Nothing. Just threw me. I still don't even really remember what the fuck happened. He says, I got this for myself and us. You reply, but I know you still must have been trying to fight or else I wouldn't have run. I don't know what the fuck was going on, but I know I had to have ran for a reason. He says, baby, I picked you up. No, you tweaked out. Your friend said you was bugging too. No, she didn't. Don't do that. But it should have never happened. And she did, but okay. She said you was overreacting. You said I bugged out because a crazy ass knight tried to kill me. I was in shock. I just woke up and no the fuck she didn't. He said you wasn't, but you ran for none. Okay, baby, I'm not trying to argue at all. I love you. I don't want to be beefed out. You are my heart. I don't know why today happened at all, but I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You say sorry is just a word. For real, sorry is changed behavior. It's been damn near 3 years of this shit. I really can say I've been abused like that's crazy to me. I never thought that would be me. I'm such a strong woman and I let somebody do this to me. It ends today. I'm not playing. I know, baby, I'm a change. For me and us, you and my kids, you deserve better. I'm gonna give you better. Question mark. I need you, baby. You're my forever. Always will be. Fingers crossed, heart emoji. You got my heart for life. Always will. Promise. You reply, N-word, you don't know how to protect me. I'm scared for my fucking life. My first instinct shouldn't be to run when I see you. I know, baby. No, I don't. You be trying to kill me, literally. That's why I was saying, baby, come here. He said, nah, you was a little too specific. Check my mind, not even in that space anymore. You made me really see you don't give a fuck about me at all. He says, I'm telling you I love you. Can I see you, baby, please? And you say, you don't, though. It's just become too much of a pattern. I'd literally be retarded to keep fucking with you after how many times you've done it. You don't care about my well-being at all. You hurt me physically on purpose, and you will do it again and again and again. He replies, baby, please, I miss you so much, I won't even hurt you again. I can't forget it. I can't even look at you the same for real. What do you mean by that? I miss you, baby. When it's just us, it's no problems. I need you. I want you. What do you mean can't look at me the same? You say, you're going to be in the news for killing a girl one day, and it's not going to be me. He replies, no, I'm going to be on BET one day. Mark my words. Don't get it confused. I can leave you alone anytime I want. That's the end of People's Exhibit 13. I can leave you alone anytime I want. Could you get him to leave you alone whenever you wanted?
No,
It was his decision, right?
yes.
At any point in those texts, when you were telling him, you almost killed me. I could have died. I felt like I was dying. At any point in there, does he deny doing it to you?
No.
What do you remember happening with your relationship after that incident?
I went to Georgia to visit my family in the middle of the month. And then when I came back, I was with my friend, previous friend, Minnie, again. And he was like, on my way back, he was like texting me, saying like a whole bunch of crazy stuff, saying that I was down there, like selling my body and like getting money to come back here. And I was just like, I thought it was a joke, like, cause again, like he's always like making stuff up. So I just thought like, he's just talking again, like making stuff up, trying to cause an argument. So I didn't really think too much of it because again, I wasn't like really in his vicinity. I was with my friend Minnie. And then later on in the night, he asked like if we could all chill together. And then Minnie just started like acting strange. Like she started like trying to fight with me and like, oh, well, I don't want to go. So then I get to the house and he's already at my house. And so he was like, he brought up what he was saying on the way back again. And he was like, so nobody would tell me that? And I was like, no, nobody would tell you that. Like, that sounds crazy.
So he's accusing you of effectively prostitution in Georgia.
Yes.
What happens once you're inside your house?
He asked me, like, so nobody told me, like, I'm lying, and I was like, yeah, you are. And he was like, so your best friend wouldn't, like, ever tell me that? I was like, no, she wouldn't, like, I started laughing, because again, I thought it was funny. And he pulls out like his phone and he had video recorded my friend, but again, like she was on drugs, so. Out of the kindness of my heart, I was trying to help her get clean and I let her into my home. It just turned out bad, but
Did he assault you again?
yes. And even though like I brought my phone out, I let him go through everything, proved I had videos, pictures of me and my family because I'm from Georgia. And he still like wasn't hearing anything I had to say, like, still was fighting me. And even though like the next day, he was just like, I do believe you. Like, he basically said like, I knew she was lying, but still fought me anyways.
So nothing you said worked to make him stop assaulting?
No,
And was this another time that he choked you?
yes, he choked me and pulled a knife on me.
Before we move past 2020, like, before we move past that, is it safe to say that when you two were in a relationship together, whether because you felt you had no choice or not, that at times the two of you would have sex together,
Yes,
consensual sex together?
yes,
Was there a time that you discovered there had been unconsensual sex?
yes.
What are you able to tell us about? What are you able to tell us about that incident?
I found a video of myself on his phone, like of him, like I was passed out, like not making any noise, anything, and he was like inserting a sex toy in me,
And when you say in you, what part of you?
anally.
What did the sex toy look like?
It was like a purple vibrator type thing,
And about how long was it?
like this big.
Yes.
So I mean, I get like 6, 7 inches.
Okay. If record reflects, she held her fingers up. I think that was about 6 or 7 inches.
Okay, approximately. Shall so reflect, you may proceed.
So you see on the video, this is happening to you. What are you able to tell us about how you appear in that video?
Like overly, like I'm not even like making any noise, just like it's just flipping me around, like like, lifting my legs up and stuff.
Did you appear to be conscious?
No,
Do you remember that incident happening?
no, I don't remember that happening.
Do you remember a time leading up to finding the video on his phone where you were unconscious in a abnormal way?
Yes, we have been drinking.
Okay. And at some point you were drinking with him,
Yes,
and that was where?
at my house.
Okay, so that was at the Eaton Rapids Road location. And you said that you fell unconscious?
Yeah, I mean, I just was thinking like, I was drunk.
Was that video time or date stamped?
I didn't even look, like, I just was so, like, I was going through his phone, I wasn't even like, that's not even what I was trying to find, I was like going through his phone, you know what I'm saying? And seeing the video, and I'm like, when was this? Like, I just was like looking at it and I seen it and I was just kind of like shocked, like, and weirded out.
So you don't remember seeing a specific date attached to that video, right? There may have been, you just don't remember it.
Yeah,
Now, can you describe, look at this way, when we're talking about you falling unconscious this day that you're drinking with him, was it just, I'm going to sleep like normal, or was this blacking out?
I don't even remember that part. What was weird to me is like, I woke up in the shower, like, he had the water running over my face, like trying to wake me up, like Alyssa, like shaking me. But like, why are you doing all that? Like, I'm just drunk. Like, why are you? Like, I don't know. What was weird to me.
That's what, weird.
Yeah, the next exhibit I would be bringing up is a physical exhibit. It's 12:15. This might be a good time for a lunch break.
I was just gonna ask you if we were moving on to a different topic, so
Yeah.
let's take a break for about a half an hour. Ma'am, you can stay here? Is that right? You can leave the courtroom, but can you stay in the building, or you can go downtown, you can come back and just have a half an hour, is that all right?
Yeah.
All right. All right, thank you.
All right.
Anything before we take our break?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Council, do you approach a minute?
Yep.
We're off the record.
That's why I was trying to.
Oh, jeez.
I just wanted to do it. The one thing you wanted, the very first one that you wanted, it was discontinued yesterday.
Of course.
Like I said, I'm not in.
Okay, what about Saturday?
I've never.
Let me go check.
You
He goes,
insist on your
he goes, I think.
So
I speak
No,
as a-
I'm told we're not selling those anymore.
Yeah.
That's why I just.
So I just got you a chance to get it out.
Okay.
I was scrambling.
It's perfect.
Okay. So-
It's on your desk.
You're good to take him back, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah, you can take it back.
Oh shit, she's on the record. What do I do?
So there's a guy who's son-in-law. And I think he's right on this from what I looked up, but I am just not.
I'll be locking the courtroom, Mr. Freeman, so.
Um,
Sorry. I said I'm gonna lock the courtroom. Oh, so that whenever you come back, if it's still locked, you buzz back. Oh, and I'll let you through. Very good. Thank you. Yeah.
What it is it's on the sex offender, but there's a minor,
Okay.
the pledge, but only to a 15-year-old. 15-year-old.
Yeah.
And they didn't grant the title. Why, I don't know.
Okay.
Okay. So he's married and his kids, has been able to live this life. All of this, apparently he's really turned his life over. They've got him on lifetime
Yeah.
tether,
Yeah, because the tier 1 sex offender registration requires lifetime electronic monitoring.
except that as a minor, I'm not sure they can do that.
I mean, it's not like I disagree. I genuinely don't know because I never mind.
Let me see.
When I get admit this week, I'll do some poking, see what I can find.
I'm gonna pull up the things you can read, or I can send it to you, but
Yeah,
from
shoot
what
my way.
I've read, I don't think you do. I mean, the statute, I looked at the statute, and thought, huh, isn't that interesting?
Correct. Yep. Yes, sir.
There's a quirk, and he might very well be right. You
Mhm.
can't put him, when you're a minor, even though you're pled as an adult,
Yeah.
you might not be able to do lifetime. And so
Oh, see, class on $1, but that's a lovely wrinkle.
here,
Yeah.
let me see.
Here, Ben, I'll meet you upstairs.
I know, I couldn't do, you can.
Tell you what, if you're able to find it,
Yeah, I did find it, but
tomorrow
I
morning.
gotta find his other, yeah, I gotta find his other,
Beautiful. Tomorrow morning before we get going again.
yeah, so.
Not once. Not once.
I know, yeah.
So when he says when he was 15 years old, he was charged with 3 counts of CSC third degree and 2 second degree. He was sentenced to 96 months in the MDOC. He finished his sentence and was discharged from parole.
Yep.
He's currently on parole for failure to register and tampering, whatever.
Yes.
But the thing is, the question is, does he have to be on?
The lifetime
Lifetime
electronic
tether.
monitoring, because, so it's whether or not you can sentence someone to